It's Thursday, February 19th. Today, legitimate land deal or something else. The inquiry into cost overruns at the police headquarters narrows in on a transaction by the city's former CAO. What Phil Schiegel had to say in response. Also, the trade mission begins. Who is taking part and what's at stake with the Manitoba delegation in Mexico for high-level talks. And schoolyard for Olympic activities. And Winnipeg School is showing students how to enjoy the outdoors with an Olympic flair. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Ainsley McPhail is going to tell us all about Black History Month and the many different activities that are happening. Also to highlight some of the local businesses as well as some of the really cool features and programs that are happening throughout the month. She's going to have that, but the weather has been really, it held off. We didn't get all that snow we were expecting.
You know what? I felt yesterday like I was stood up at prom. I said that a few. I was like, I think the snow is coming. We did get it, not as much as we thought. However, Westman did get walloped with some pretty substantial numbers, and we're still getting some preliminary data on just how much snow fell. I'll have those details in a moment. But right now, we are still dealing with some light snow out there, and we will be through much of today and tomorrow. It's -6 degrees with that wind chill, feeling more like -11, so it's still mild. That's the good news. Winds out of the north-northeast at 13 kilometers per hour. Pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 84%. Excuse me my notes, but I have these numbers for you. So this low pressure system that's still very much lingering over southwestern Manitoba. Between when it kicked off overnight Wednesday, or Tuesday into Wednesday rather, to now, we saw the highest reported snowfall in Boissevain at 25 centimeters, Morden about 18, 15 centimeters in Dauphin, 15 in Portage, 8 in Brandon, and we here in Winnipeg got about 2 to 3 centimeters worth. We could still be getting some more later on. However, snowfall warnings for us here in Winnipeg and the surrounding areas have lifted. They remain in effect in much of West Manitoba because that snowfall continues while we're starting to see it tapering off a little bit more. There's the culprit, that low pressure system, that Montana low. As the day progresses, it does start to lift off, but there's some kind of remnants, the tail ends there hanging around. So periods of light snowfall expected today into tomorrow, alongside some very strong northwesterly winds. So that will be whipping those flakes around. Into tomorrow, trace amounts of snow, cloud coverage expected. And then on the back end of this system, we talked about some cooler conditions. So for us here today, we're looking at -5, but tomorrow we lose a lot of heat, -10 degrees when -7 is what's typical. And we get sunshine into the weekend, but the temperature slides even further.
Thank you, Catherine. Winnipeg's former CAO was back in the hot seat Wednesday, grilled over his role in the police headquarters scandal. And Phil Schiegel flat out denied claims a land sale in Arizona was fabricated to cover up a payment related to the headquarters project. CTV's Jeff Keel reports.
Phil Schiegel strongly denies an accusation he made up a land deal in Arizona to cover up an incentive from the police HQ project's general contractor.
It was because there was no such deal.
That is completely false.
The former City of Winnipeg CAO was answering questions for the second day at the inquiry into the renovation of the former Canada Post building. In 2022, a civil court judge concluded Schiegel accepted a $327,000 bribe from Caspian Construction, the firm that was awarded the construction contract. Both former Mayor Sam Cates and Schiegel testified the money was from the sale of a share of property in Arizona to Caspian owner Armic Babicanians in 2011. But the city's lawyer, Michael Finlayson, suggested to Schiegel the money was an incentive.
It was money which was an incentive to you, Mr. Cates, to help Mr. Babicanians on the Winnipeg Police Headquarters project.
You're totally incorrect.
Finlayson also suggested there was no land deal, saying the city believes an agreement dated May 2012 was only drawn up in 2017 once Mounties were investigating. No criminal charges were brought forward.
It believes that this was done by you with the connivance of Mr. Cates in order to fend off potential criminal charges arising from the payments.
The city is completely wrong.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A 14-year-old boy is facing murder charges in connection to the death of an 18-year-old woman. Her body was found by police inside a home in the 500 block of Yonge Street Saturday morning. She's been identified as Avante Hartlieb, a member of the Sashigo Lake First Nation in northwestern Ontario. Police tell us she had been living in Winnipeg. Her father, David, says she's the oldest of 5 siblings, and he's in shock over what's happened.
She was young and her life was taken away from her too soon. She was just beginning her life as an adult. She only became an adult for 1 month, and it's just sad to see.
The teenage boy arrested Tuesday is charged with second-degree murder and criminal negligence causing death. Police wouldn't elaborate on her cause of death or any potential connection between her and the accused, citing the ongoing investigation. We have breaking news this morning out of the UK. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly known as Prince Andrew, has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. He remains in custody as police search 2 addresses he's connected to in Berkshire and Norfolk. This comes after Thames Valley Police said they were assessing a complaint over the alleged sharing of confidential material with the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. At this moment, there are a number of details we don't know yet, including the specifics of the allegations against him, what information prompted the arrest, and where he's being held. Today is Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's 66th birthday. The Liberals are still 3 seats shy of a majority, even after Conservative Matt Genereux crossed the floor.
Quite simply couldn't sit on the sidelines after seeing what the Prime Minister was, the ambitious agenda he was undertaking.
You'll remember back in November, Genereux said he was leaving politics to spend more time with his family. But he apparently changed his mind on that. The Alberta MP says it was Prime Minister Mark Carney's speech at Davos that convinced him to reevaluate. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is calling the floor crossing a betrayal of the people in Genereux's riding. He is the 3rd MP Poilievre has lost to the Liberals in the last 4 months. But because of other changes, the Liberals are still 3 seats short of a majority government. That includes the resignation of Bill Blair and Chrystia Freeland. There will also be a by-election coming up in Terrebonne, Quebec. The Supreme Court invalidated that result after the Liberals won by a single vote. Some schools across the province closed Wednesday as parts of Manitoba were in the grip of snowy weather, making for some risky driving conditions.
Just stay off it. Yeah, it's not worth it. No, wait a day or wait a few hours and try it, but it's not worth your life.
That's Dana Smith, a trucker heading to Toronto from Regina. He spoke to CTV News from the Flying J restaurant in Headingley, as his was one of several big rigs stopped there. Truckers we spoke to all said the same thing. It's very slick on the highways, and don't drive if you don't have to.
All the way here, there's trucks off the road everywhere, tow trucks pulling them out. The road's probably got, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches of snow on them. And then from here to Portage, it's pretty much all ice.
Started from Brandon this morning, and then up until here, it's about pretty slippery. I almost slipped off the road 2-3 times myself. So now, like, you know, made it here safely after seeing 10-15 trucks in ditches. It's crazy out there. Drive safe.
Just one closure this morning. Highway 20 is closed from Dauphin to Winnipegosis due to poor driving conditions. Otherwise, according to Manitoba 511, all other highways are open. However, many major roads across southern Manitoba, the Interlake, and east and western Manitoba are listed as partly snow-covered. Some positive news from Winnipeg Police following significant flooding at the downtown headquarters this weekend. The force says all electrical systems have now been deemed safe, lighting has been restored, and all of the standing water has been removed. Additionally, air quality and humidity are back to acceptable levels, and the building has reopened to the public. That said, the full extent of the damage is still being assessed. It comes after police say someone opened several emergency water supply valves in a stairwell of an adjoining building. 2 people are facing charges. In New York, police officers sprang into action to rescue an injured bald eagle from the icy Hudson River.
His claw's bleeding, too.
The eagle was spotted crying out before police arrived on the scene. This body cam video shows NYPD officers rescuing the bird from the river. It was then safely removed and taken to an animal sanctuary in New Jersey. Poor little guy. Here's what's happening right now on Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are pretty good here, but there is a traffic alert to share with you on Burroughs and Keewatin. A motor vehicle crash has knocked down a traffic standard. So lights are all in red flashing, so treat the intersection as an always stop. Signal crews are on the way. If you have any other traffic tips to share with us, please text them to us at 10400. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Black History Month, which of course is in the month of February. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. We are celebrating Black excellence and Black excellence here in Manitoba. We often work with Black History Manitoba, who does events all year long. We're also learning about Black Manitoba Network and, of course, Akomi, who we have visited in the past. They have an exhibition going on right now called Then and Now. They've been doing this since 2023, and it celebrates traditional African artifacts as well as artists of today. And look how stunning they are. We were just trying to say, how did she possibly get it on there? Okay, we're gonna have to learn about that coming up in the 7 o'clock hour. We're also chatting with the University of Winnipeg Student Association. They're doing stuff on campus, including a job and career fair. So stay with us as we learn about that.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now, and we got little snow, just a little snow here in Winnipeg, but lots in other parts of the province, of course. What's it looking like out there now?
Well, you know, I've never been so happy to be wrong, because I got to tell you, I was not looking forward to that snowfall. We were hearing from Environment and Climate Change Canada that this low pressure system could give us quite the beating. It did arrive, however, less amount of snow than expected for us here in Winnipeg, as you mentioned, Rochelle. Southwestern Manitoba, though, was inundated with a good amount. Currently, though, it's -6 degrees with the wind chill feels more like -12. Some light trace amounts of snow still falling and is likely to do so for the next day and change. Winds out of the north-northeast at 15 kilometers per hour. They will be picking up. Pressure rising, humidity at 83%. So yes, southwestern Manitoba area saw upwards of 10 centimeters of snow in about a 24-hour period. Particularly hard hit was Boissevain at 25 centimeters, while we here in Winnipeg just got a couple of centimeters. However, that low pressure system is nagging. It's staying around. It's stubborn. It's that house guest you wish would leave. It's going to be dropping some light snow through us on southern Manitoba, and it's particularly persistent in the southwest, where snowfall warnings remain in effect. Temperatures, though, remaining decent. -5 for Winnipeg. Very similar values throughout southern Manitoba. But at the back half of this system, we are going to be dealing with a cool-off into the weekend. I'm going to head inside, but stay with us. We've got so much more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come on this Thursday.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
Good morning. Some Manitoba business leaders are in Mexico this week. They're part of the Team Canada mission looking to build new trade relationships. CTV's Joseph Bernacki has more on what Manitoba's delegates hope to accomplish.
Manitoba First Nations leadership say this week has been critical as they forge new socioeconomic and cultural partnerships with Indigenous Mexican leaders.
The trade missions have long been void of Indigenous leadership, and so it's very, very important that we're working on developing that, and not only ensuring that we're sitting at the table, but we're actually having some real outcomes.
Southern Chiefs Organization Grand Chief Jerry Daniels joined 370 provincial and federal delegates on the ground in Mexico. He is one of 3 Indigenous leaders hoping to benefit from a knowledge exchange. On Monday, delegates toured Mexico City's Pan American University, learning from students there how innovation in AI technology could improve Indigenous health care.
We want to be able to move faster when it comes to diagnosing Indigenous people back home, and so when we're talking about health care, AI is, I think, the future when it comes to diagnostics.
Daniel says he also made valuable connections with Indigenous business members from the city of Monterey. Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs Grand Chief Kyra Wilson says these trade talks are long overdue, and it's the first time AMC has been at the table.
We've been saying from day one that First Nations need to be involved in any discussions when it comes to trade, resource development.
Chuck Davidson, president and CEO for Manitoba Chambers of Commerce, says there is a real appetite for Canadian-Mexican trade. He says with more than 200 Canadian businesses on the team, it sends a strong message that Canada is open for business. The key to that success will be sustained talks in the coming months.
That's the key to doing trade, is that it doesn't happen by having one meeting. It happens by starting that relationship, understanding what each side has to offer, and the hope by having this repeatedly is that there will be opportunities down the line.
Joseph Bernanke, CTV News, Winnipeg.
A company located just outside Winnipeg has been fined for a workplace death that happened 3.5 years ago. Charges were laid against Wintech Building Services after a worker fell into the blades of an unguarded radiator fan in July 2022. The company pleaded guilty last month to failing to ensure alternate protective measures are in place when safeguards are removed on a machine or tool. Wintech was fined $50,000 with an additional $20,000 to be used for health and safety education. Emergency crews say they have now found the bodies of 8 skiers who went missing in an avalanche near Lake Tahoe.
Saw the avalanche, yelled avalanche, and then it overtook them.
This is devastating. It affects us all.
This is now the deadliest avalanche in California's history. 1 person is still missing and presumed dead. 15 skiers were reported missing on Tuesday after the avalanche came crashing down. 6 other skiers in the group were found alive. U.S. President Donald Trump's threat to stall the opening of a bridge between Canada and the U.S. is facing fresh scrutiny. Democrats say Trump's post about the Gordie Howe International Bridge came after his Commerce Secretary met with the owner of a competing bridge. The new Ontario-Michigan bridge has faced long-time pushback from the family that owns the Ambassador Bridge and is also a major Republican donor. Democrats are now pressing for more details on Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick's meeting and his correspondence. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg was in the hot seat inside an LA courtroom Wednesday for an unprecedented social media trial.
Mr. Zuckerberg, did Meta purposely design the platform to harm children?
Zuckerberg's company faces allegations its platforms are deliberately addictive to children, causing them harm. The plaintiff is now 20 years old. She's a woman who says her addiction to the technology increased her depression and led to suicidal thoughts. Meta and YouTube, which is owned by Google, are the remaining defendants after TikTok and Snap settled out of court. A Transcona area school is cheering on Team Canada while taking part in its own winter sports activities.
Curling, skating, and ice hockey.
Those are some of the Olympic events students are taking part in as part of the Way-O-Ada School Games. Work started on the schoolyard rink back in the fall, with students helping set up the boards and then flooding and painting the surface. Phys ed teacher Tyler McGurry says it's the 5th year the school has set up the rink for some outdoor fun and physical activity.
This year we've done a little more of an Olympic theme, and the kids have been really excited about that and learning about the Olympic Games and just how Olympic spirit and just learning how to be active for life with all these outdoor activities.
McGurry says local businesses, the division, and students have been a big help in keeping the rink going over the years. Along with the on-ice events, students have also explored bobsledding, luge, and skiing. An unusually enthusiastic track invader jumped onto the cross-country course during Olympic competition yesterday. This dog wandered onto the course and decided to join the action. The unexpected intruder caused the cheering crowd to howl with delight. Cameras captured the dog crossing the finish line, and while it didn't reach the podium, it did appear to have the time of its life.
Traffic is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Dagmar Street between William and Bannatyne Avenue. One lane will be closed at a time for water work. And following the rush, the northbound curb lane on Desmarons Street will be closed from Dubuque to La Rivière. And the westbound middle lane 3 on St. Mary Avenue will be closed from Carleton to Edmonton. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us at 10400.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
That dog meddled in the podium. That is my heart. All right, it's -6 degrees out there with a wind chill making it feel closer to -12. Some very, very light snow, trace amounts barely visible. Winds are out of the north-northeast, pressure on the rise, humidity at 83%. So yes, we dealt with the that low pressure system, heaped a good amount of snow on the southwest. Here in Winnipeg, we did get some, not quite as much as we anticipated, but that system is hanging on for the next day. With it, we have some mild temperatures. There's some good news. I've been really enjoying these. A reminder, -7 is more typical for this time of year. We're well surpassed that even warmer to kick off our day. Cooler though in Westman, -11 in Brandon, -13, or what, -11 in Dauphin, -13 in Brandon. There we go. Quite a bit chillier in northern Manitoba, and of course when we bring in that wind chill factor, it's quite intense. So be sure to bundle up when heading outside. I know I sound like a broken record, but we all know how punishing and dangerous these conditions can be. We still have some snowfall warnings in effect, not coincidentally in areas hardest hit by this low pressure system. Westman areas lit up there in yellow. We saw about 23 centimeters reported so far in Boissevain, about 13 in Morden and Winkler, while we here in Winnipeg just saw a couple centimeters. But we're not through with it yet. You can see this stubborn system, while it is kind of honed over southwestern Manitoba, we're going to be dealing with light snowfall off and on throughout the day, but another mild day. -7 as kids arrive, -6 as they take lunch, -5 on the way home, which is also our high for this for today. Very strong northwesterly winds that will continue overnight with that light snow and -11. And then tomorrow we start to see the snowfall taper off with a high of -10. Your Skywatch picture of the day. Not sure if you can quite capture this, but they're showing the amount of snowfall there in Sandy Bay First Nation. Got a good helping there. Thank you, Kathy Hulmoso, for sending that in, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Good morning. The Canadian women will face the U.S. this afternoon with hockey gold on the line. This will be the 5th straight time the two teams have faced each other in the Olympic final. It was Canada that came out on top 4 years ago in Beijing. Canada did look shaky earlier in the tournament when they lost 5-0 to the U.S., but they'll have captain Marie-Philippe Poulin in the lineup today. The puck drops at 12:10 Manitoba time. Fans will be watching after yesterday's nail-biter on the men's side. Jubilation, shock, anger, and relief. Canadians went through just about every emotion as they watched Canada beat Czechia 4-3 in an overtime thriller. The men's semifinal is tomorrow against Finland, and if all goes well, another gold medal game on Sunday. In a sport built on speed, precision, and nerves, a University of Calgary student is making a name for himself without ever strapping into a physical race car. CTV's Mark Villani has his story.
For the final time, the Calgary Dinos got a shot at this. It's a race to the finish, and though it looks real and it feels real, Connor Yarashak is doing this all from the comfort of his own home.
It's something I've done for years now, so it's like second nature to me at this point.
The 19-year-old competes in the eNASCAR Collegiate Series, representing the University of Calgary as the lone Canadian in a field of predominantly American competitors. Who will survive the chaos? Using a simulated platform called iRacing, he's able to race on real-world tracks with sophisticated vehicle models, turning what many see as a game into a high-pressure, high-skill competition.
There's tons going on, and I mean, you're always thinking about strategies. You're thinking about how you're going to adjust the car, change the setups, what tire strategy you're on.
That strategic mindset makes Yarashak one of the best racers in the world. He won Rookie of the Year last year and sits on top of the college standings this year, becoming the first to win back-to-back tournaments at the recent Daytona and Iowa events.
There's definitely some pressure to, finish the rest of the season strong.
Look like he's going to be the next college champion, and that usually foretells the next great one in the sim world.
Only the fastest drivers in the world get the chance to compete at this level, and there's real cash on the line. Winning a race earns you $3,000 in scholarship money. Winning the championship adds another $10,000 to your pocket, a sport that's rapidly been growing since NASCAR's pivot to iRacing during the COVID-19 pandemic.
After COVID, that credibility really came through where drivers and teams were using iRacing to prepare for races.
And aside from taking a victory lap, Connor Yarashak says the real rewards come from the lessons he learns along the way.
The pressure of the big moments, and the opportunities and the people I've met, these are all skills.
Mark Villani, CTV News, Calgary.
No one's racing here. We'll be right back after the short break.
casting our eye to the sky and to traffic. It's -6 degrees with that wind chill. Feels more like -12. Very, very light snowfall. In fact, barely being felt in downtown Winnipeg. Winds out of the north-northeast. Pressure on the rise. Humidity sitting at 83%. So yes, we're still in the crosshairs of this low pressure system. The good news is we didn't get as much snow here in Winnipeg and the Red River Valley as we thought we would. Just a couple centimeters reported so far, but it was quite potent in the southwest, where you can still see it lingering there on our radar. In effect, are currently those snowfall warnings matching that, as you can see, all lit up in yellow, those areas that are hardest hit, because snowfall is expected to linger through today and overnight. Winnipeg will deal with it too, but to a lesser degree. Periods of light snow, very trace amounts. Another centimeter or two could be coming between now and tomorrow when it tapers off, but for the most part, it's going to be light and overcast. -5 degrees. Winds, though, very strong out of the northwest at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. As mentioned, periods of light snow expected overnight. Temperatures dipping down to -11 with those strong northwesterly winds. And from there, while we start to see the snowfall taper off into Friday, we are going to be starting to feel a bit of a downgrade with our temperatures. Some cooler air on the back end of that system is responsible for this, to the tune of -10 degrees when -7 is typical, and those winds a little bit lighter out of the northwest. The weekend is sunny, but definitely cooler. Below seasonal values at -12 on Saturday, -15 on Sunday. And midweek, we're off to a cloudy start still with those cooler conditions. And Environment and Climate Change Canada tells me it'll be the back half of next week before we start to return down to more typical February conditions.
A warning now about a convicted sex offender considered a high risk to reoffend who's been released from jail. 34-year-old Curtis Leroy George was serving a sentence for sexual assault involving an adolescent girl in Thompson. George has a lengthy criminal record for violent and sexual offenses. Back in 2011, he was convicted of sexual interference involving a 13-year-old girl and 5 counts of sexual assault after he attacked 4 random females who were walking or jogging. Police say George has breached probation orders numerous times. They warn he is a high risk to reoffend in a sexual or violent manner against all females, both adults and youth. He's expected to live in Winnipeg. A highway that cuts through Carman was closed to traffic Wednesday evening following a collision involving a train and semi. The Carman-Dufferin Fire Department shared this photo on Facebook. Fire Chief Chris Lemke says crews were called to Highway 13 around 6 o'clock. He says a semi was traveling southbound and attempted to brake because of an oncoming train, but couldn't stop in time because of the road conditions. Lemke says no one was hurt in the collision. The train didn't derail and no fuel or products spilled. Highway 13 reopened to traffic shortly before 8:30. Things are changing fast in the airline industry. Falling demand for U.S. flights is forcing major Canadian carriers like Air Transat and WestJet to pivot. Here's CTV's Alex Carpa on how it could change your travel plans.
This is myself with my daughter when she was going to school just outside of Pittsburgh.
Mike Gebhardt is a frequent traveler to the United States.
Well, on average, I would probably travel 3, 4, maybe 5.
His daughter lives in Alabama, but visiting her sometimes is not easy.
I do fly out of Saskatchewan most of the time, so it is a bit of a challenge. Leave early in the morning, come back late at night.
But traveling could get a little more chaotic for passengers like Gebhardt. WestJet and Air Transat recently slashed several routes from Canada to U.S. cities.
It's something to always be aware of.
Statistics Canada data last month showed that Canadians continue to take fewer trips to the U.S. in November 2025. Travel agent Daryl Silver says passengers shouldn't be worried about this shift.
Yes, could there be more problems now? I suppose, but in general, I don't think that that's significant if that is happening.
A few travel experts we spoke to say passenger demand to the U.S. from Canada is down and say it's no surprise that airlines like WestJet and Air Transat are reducing these routes.
It's one of those things where they feel they can focus on domestic, where they excel, especially on the West Coast, and become more profitable. It's good for them.
John Graddick says the reduction is consumer-driven.
Not driven by the weather, not driven by anything else. Consumers have decided that they'd rather spend their leisure travel dollars on flights other than the USA, and they're reacting to that.
Meanwhile, Porter Airlines announcing it's adding routes to the U.S., saying travelers want more options. As for Gebhardt, he says he'll continue traveling to the U.S. to see his daughter, but when it comes to vacationing south of the border, he admits he's thinking twice, especially as flight options are reduced. Alex Carpa, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Manitoba is honoring the memory of Humboldt Broncos player Logan Boulet ahead of Green Shirt Day, a day in support of organ donor awareness.
He would be so humbled to know that this simple decision has made such an incredible impact on so many folks.
The Boulet family launched the 2026 Green Shirt Day campaign here in Winnipeg with the unveiling of a new shirt design. The logo was created by Candace Cernowski of Lorette, who is herself a kidney donor. It was chosen for its emotion and symbolism, which includes a flying puck, crossed hockey sticks, the green organ donation ribbon, and Logan's number 27.
For us, Green Shirt Day allows us to be able to talk about Logan to people who come to press conferences, who come and meet us in a store, who see Toby's pin and say, hey, that inspired me.
The Boulets also hope it prompts people to talk to their family and friends about their wishes around organ donation. Green Shirt Day falls on April 7th, the day after the Humboldt Broncos bus tragedy, and the day Logan Boulet succumbed to his injuries and his organs were donated to 6 other people. Home sales in Canada saw a steep drop in January. Numbers from the CREA say sales fell 16% last month compared to a year ago. Experts believe the weather may have been a factor. The drop was mostly driven by the Golden Horseshoe around the west end of Lake Ontario and southwest Ontario regions. Both areas saw significant snowfall last month. Prescriptions for popular weight loss drugs like Wegovy are on the rise for new moms, according to new research. Danish researchers found a 5-fold increase in prescriptions for GLP-1 weight loss medications like Wegovy for women who had delivered a baby in the past 6 months. GLP-1s are not recommended for use during pregnancy, and there is limited safety data for their use during the postpartum period. Experts simply don't know what kind of impact they have on breastfeeding, hormones, or long-term health risks in mom and baby. Here's what's happening right now at Kenniston Boulevard. It looks like things are slowly picking up here, but overall moving quite well. We have no issues to tell you about in this part of the city. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.30. The provincial average is $1.20. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.19, and the lowest price in the city is $1.11. All this information is on GasBuddy.com. Coming up, we are talking about Black History Month with Ainsley McPhail. Stay with us for more on this art show.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
Rather pleasant start to the day, especially by February standards. It's -6 degrees, that wind chill just at -12. Some very light trace amounts of snow falling, not even picking up on the camera. Winds out of the north-northeast at 15 clicks. Pressure is rising. Humidity sits at 83%. So I want to talk about the rest of the province because we've been monopolized by all this talk of this low pressure system that came to us yesterday to southern Manitoba, and it's just kind of set up shop and stuck around. So to the north, mostly you're also going to be dealing with snow. What a coincidence. About 2 to 4 centimeters expected today, and then some light trace snow overnight. Plus the wind chill value quite extreme at about -38 degrees in areas very far north. For us here in the south, yes, this persistent low pressure system really continuing to heap snow predominantly on southwest Manitoba, where snowfall warnings remain. They've been lifted for us in Winnipeg. We're still going to be getting some light snow. We escaped with a lot less snow than we once thought. We were predicting upwards of 10 centimeters. We just ended up getting a couple. So look for that to continue. Temperatures still above seasonal. For us here in Winnipeg, that's -5 degrees, though we are going to deal with a cool down into the weekend. Ainsley McPhail is spending her morning learning about Black History Month. Ainsley, take it away.
What an honor it is to be invited inside Akomi. Chooks Ojidu joins us now, and he's going to tell us all about the exhibition here, what Akomi does, and just how so many people are being brought together. Please take it away.
Yes, of course, welcome to our Black History Month event. This is an annual event we do every year, and this is the 4th edition. As part of celebrating Black History Month, we celebrate Black history through art. And so we use this exhibition to show Black creativity, ingenuity, and all the cultures that promote community living. And so this is, like I said, the 4th edition, and we have actually added something new. In this edition is themed Then and Now. So we are showing past artworks as well as contemporary art done by young Black artists to show the continuity in creativity across generations. So this is an exhibition that will run for 4 days and is open to the public to come and see. We have wooden art, we have stoneworks, we have active arts, and of course we have modern art and some artworks done by seniors as well to show the Black creativity. And that is what we are here for.
And it's all about bringing people together as well. Of course, we're showcasing Black excellence, but we want all community to come, enjoy, learn, explore.
Yes, it's about showing multiculturalism. Africa is a diverse continent with over 54 countries, over 1,000 languages. And so when you come to this exhibition, you're not seeing just from one region. We have exhibitions from all parts of the continent, including West Africa, East Africa, North Africa, as well as Central Africa. So this is something to bring community, to understand culture, to be united. So it's open, and we've had visitors from different parts of Manitoba. We have students who come in here to also learn about Black culture and history through art. So it's about building community, and that's it's expanding. It started as a one-day event. Now it's 4 days, and we are hoping to extend it because of the demands from members of the community.
Thank you so much. Celebrating Black Manitobans and beyond. Back to you.
Here's a look at the early markets. This Thursday, the Dow Jones lost 171 points. The Nasdaq is 104 points lower. The S&P index dipped 21 points. The Canadian dollar had small gains to 73.8 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng is 138 points higher, and the Nikkei added 323 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. A 43-year-old man has died after being struck by a vehicle near Brady Landfill. It happened around 4 a.m. Friday at the corner of Brady Road and Gousso Road, roughly 2 kilometers south of the Perimeter Highway. The force says the driver of the vehicle remained at the scene and the victim's next of kin have been notified. Anyone with information or dash cam footage is asked to contact police. Avalanche Canada is warning of dangerous conditions in southeastern BC after a snowmobiler was killed. This happened on Tuesday near Fernie in the Matheson Creek snowmobile area. The risk of avalanche had been rated high for the area, but is now at a considerable risk. Avalanche Canada warns if you're heading out to the backcountry to choose a more conservative terrain. The NDP leadership race is nearing the finish line, and tonight the 5 candidates will take part in the second and final debate.
Thursday night's debate is the last moment, really, for widespread persuasion. Voting begins on March 9th. That is when the GOTV voter turnout begins. And I think that this is the moment that a candidate could break through.
The 5 candidates are documentary filmmaker Avi Lewis, Alberta MP Heather McPherson, dock worker Rob Ashton, the first Indigenous leadership candidate Tennille Johnston, and organic farmer Tony McQuail. They will all square off tonight in BC. The voting will start March 9th using ranked ballots, and the winner will be announced on March 29th. It looks like more Winnipeg bookworms have been inching towards Winnipeg libraries lately. February marks I Love to Read Month, and Mayor Scott Gillingham's office says annual attendance numbers across the city's library system have jumped more than 28% since 2022. The number of borrowed materials is also up by nearly 19%. Councillor Vivian Santos says the numbers aren't quite at pre-pandemic levels just yet, but believes recent measures have helped increase usage.
I think the investments that we're making, right, together with the province of Manitoba, we were able to increase our hours, improve some safety measures at all of our libraries. I think it's good to see a slow and steady rise in our library system.
Winnipeg's library system is likely to garner even more readers when the Garden City Shopping Centre branch opens later this year. It's one of the leading causes of job-related disability in the U.S. Up to 80% of people will experience lower back pain at some point in their lives. But experts say there are things you can do now to help prevent the issue in the future.
Back pain, unfortunately, is quite common.
Dr. Trishul Kapoor with Cleveland Clinic says you could reduce the risk of developing pain. First, have a healthy diet and exercise. Having a strong core is especially important since those muscles support the spine, and manage your weight. But also talk to your doctor about which number is healthy for you to see on the scale.
Weight distribution also plays a significant role in terms of where are you carrying most of that weight, because that can have significant impacts on your spine in terms of increasing certain curvatures that are exacerbated.
Next, get underlying medical problems under control. Kapoor says conditions like diabetes and hypertension can increase inflammation in the body and can eventually lead to spine, joint, and muscle problems. Smoking also causes swelling, so he says to avoid it. And remember to keep your back straight whenever you lift something heavy. A landmark theater in the Pas is rising from the ashes. The province is providing $2.5 million to rebuild the Lido Theater. It was lost to a fire in 2024. The plan is to transform it into a regional arts, culture, education, and healing center. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Dagmar Street between William and Bannatyne Avenue. One lane will be closed at a time for water work. And following the rush, the northbound curb lane of Desmarais Street will be closed from Dubuque to La Rivière. And the westbound middle lane on St. Mary Avenue will be closed from Carleton to Edmonton. If you have any other traffic tips, please text them to us.
Your start to your Thursday is mild but slightly snowy, very slight. Winds out of the north-northeast at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure's on the rise and the humidity sitting at 83%. So yes, we were waiting on a big heaping of snow. Parts of Manitoba got it. Us here in south central areas, not quite as advertised. We were predicting upwards of 10 centimeters. Us in Winnipeg just got a couple, 2 to 3. While southwest, where you can see on our radar that system very much still hovering, got upwards of 10 centimeters, even 23 reported in Boissevain. That was so far. We're going to get updated totals later on this morning. Meanwhile, the areas hardest hit also still have snowfall warnings in effect, while we here in Winnipeg and surrounding areas have had ours lifted since the bulk of that system is behind us. Meanwhile, the north also contending with some snowfall. About 2 to 3 centimeters is possible. That's Environment and Climate Change Canada's estimation. Temperatures chilly in Thompson at -18 and Gillam, even cooler in Churchill at -23. Island Lake a little bit more manageable at -11. Northwestern Manitoba, same goes for you. A chance of a couple centimeters of snow off and on throughout the day. -14 in Opaskwayak Cree Nation and the Pas, slightly cooler in Flin Flon. More opportunity for sunshine into the afternoon in Lynn Lake after some snowfall, -20 degrees. Southwestern Manitoba, that light snowfall expected to continue today alongside some strong northwesterly winds. Temperatures there starting to slip below seasonal, -10 degrees across the board. We're a little bit milder in terms of our temperatures in Winnipeg and likely to deal with some very light snow, not to the degree as our friends out west. And those northwesterly winds will also be strong at about 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. Northwestern Ontario, much the same. Periods of snowfall expected and temperatures starting to creep back down to typical February values. -6 in Kenora, -8 in Red Lake, -7 in Dryden. Overnight, that light snow will continue in periods. Those winds will stay pretty strong out of the northwest, -11. And then tomorrow, as we start to lose that system, we're starting to see that mercury slip, but we get sunshine into the weekend.
An 11-year-old Ottawa girl has an ambitious goal. She's trying to raise $50,000 to support children with cancer. And as CTV's Peter Sperling reports, her efforts are inspiring others, even gaining national recognition.
Same rules. Brooke Milo is an 11-year-old Ottawa girl with an inspiring $50,000 goal.
I'm raising money for kids that are fighting cancer right now.
Already nearing the halfway mark, she has raised more than $22,000.
Well, I've had lots of bake sales and fundraisers.
And for her, the inspiration is personal. Motivated to give after watching her grandfather donate his hair as part of a fundraiser years ago. Since then, she has donated her hair 3 times.
About to here, and then I cut it and it was like to there.
She has a new motivation now after learning a classmate was diagnosed with cancer.
Well, I was very sad and I wanted to help him.
Everyone, please welcome Brooke to the show!
The ambitious efforts aren't going unnoticed. She caught the attention of national celebrity Mary Berg, appearing on her TV show, The Good Stuff.
Okay, so that is a lot of donation.
Her own several minutes of fame, motivating other students and teachers to join the cause.
I just think it's a really big accomplishment.
She's just a really inspiring person in general, and I love that she's trying to help somebody in our class too.
I think it's a wonderful thing. Brooke has proven to be a very authentic person. in everything that she does.
For Brooke, she has faith that fundraisers can help with a cure.
Hopefully, doctors can find a cure for cancer.
And those that see her daily say there's no limit to what she can achieve.
Not only does she raise all this money for cancer research and for kids with cancer, but she's like a volleyball player, a swimmer, a good student, and she's a kind human.
A young girl giving the gift of hope while motivating others along the way.
It's honestly very fun to have bake sales and fundraisers, and I feel like that if I keep donating money to cancer, then other people will.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
It was not a medal game for Team Canada in hockey Wednesday, but definitely a nail-biter. The team, expected to cruise through yesterday's quarterfinal, came close to seeing their Olympic journey end with a game against Czechia going into overtime. CTV's Rahim Lethani with more.
Excitement, relief, and everything in between.
I'm in disbelief. I have shivers. It was insane. I can't believe it.
Team Canada's men's hockey team is moving on to the semifinals after a nail-biter that saw Canada fall behind to Czechia in the third period.
Canada by far has the most skill, the most talent, the most speed, the most of everything, except for right now, potentially not the best strategy, because right now it almost bit them on their butt. They almost got in trouble.
Inside the Dog and Bear pub in Queen West, fans are speaking directly to the game-winning goal scorer.
On behalf of Toronto, Mitch Marner, all is forgiven. That was beautiful.
The former Toronto Maple Leaf delivered the heroics, scoring in overtime to lift Canada over the Czechs. The moment even prompting his former team to tweet a Canadian flag and magician's wand for some Marner magic. But that's already creating backlash amongst fans, who are calling out the organization for trading him, while others haven't forgotten Marner's playoff track record with the blue and white.
The worst guy you know made a great goal. Right.
At the Ford Performance Center, Gino watched the thrilling game from start to finish.
My heart was in my chest, and now we breathe easy, and gold medal still in sight. Only gold for Canada.
However, Team Canada isn't skating away unscathed. Captain Sidney Crosby suffered an apparent injury and left the ice midway through the second period. As Canada now prepares for their semifinal match on Friday, some feel this cliff-hanging game will actually help the team moving forward.
You see the teams that have a more difficult route to the final, they tend to win these types of games and these types of trophies, and it's more memorable.
Now Canada will need at least one more win to guarantee themselves a medal at these Olympic Games. Rahim Ladani, CTV News, Toronto.
We're going to take a quick break. After this, we'll be back with your 7 o'clock headlines. Stay with us. Thursday, February 19th. Today, former CAO grilled. Phil Schiegel denies fabricating an Arizona land deal at the police headquarters inquiry. Plus, home sales cool off. January sales fall 16% across Canada, with harsh winter weather slowing the market. And Rink, Set, Go! Waiota students turn their schoolyard into a mini winter game, skating, sliding, and cheering on Team Canada. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It is 7 o'clock on your Thursday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg and our Community Connection at 7:52. We're going to tell you about the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Corporation. Food security is tough for all of us. Food prices are really high, and of course, in some areas, it's even a bigger struggle to get healthy food. So we're going to find out a little bit more on what the Renewal Corp is doing to ensure everybody in the neighborhood has food security, as well as some of the other programs that are for tots and for seniors. We're going to tell you more about the organization as a whole. But the weather, it was pretty easy going for us driving in today. I mean, snow covered in some parts.
Rachel's trying to dance around the fact that we were wildly off with our predictions for this storm. I really appreciate that. Yes, we were initially hearing that snowfall totals could be in excess of 10 centimeters. While some parts of southern Manitoba certainly got that kind of helping of the white stuff, we here in Winnipeg were largely spared. We did have a couple of centimeters, and we're likely to still get a little bit more. We're actually seeing a little bit of snowfall currently in downtown Winnipeg. Very trace amounts. -6 degrees with that wind chill is -12. Winds are out of the north-northeast. The pressure is rising and the humidity sits at 83%. So this low pressure system that we've been tracking that brought that snowfall predominantly to the southwest is really hovering along this area. While we are still feeling it, well, those trace amounts of snowfall that it's going to be lasting throughout the day. The snowfall warnings for us have lifted, but of course remain in the southwest where it continues to have the most drastic impact. There's the words I'm looking for. Along with that snowfall expected through the day, we're also going to be dealing with some fairly strong northwesterly winds once again. So here's that system on our future cast. You'll see it really does linger. So as the day progresses, it starts to shift to northern Manitoba, bringing about 2 to 4 centimeters worth there. But the tail end still hovering around southwestern Manitoba. So periods of light snow expected through much of southern Manitoba overnight as well before we finally start to taper off. A lot of cloud coverage, though, to kick off the day as well for the northeast. And as Friday continues, we're not seeing much sunshine and our temperatures starting to be pulled down by some cooler air that's on the back end of that low pressure system that brought all the snow. So today, still mild, -5 degrees, -8, it's what's typical. Overnight, we're not losing a ton of heat, but tomorrow, -10 is our high. We're starting to creep back down, and a trade-off. We'll get cooler temperatures, but sunshine returns into the weekend. Your weather art of the day drawn by Owen. I believe this is a storm affecting that tree there. I love this wonderful picture. Thank you to Owen for drawing that. And for anyone out there who has their pictures of their kids' weather-themed artwork that they'd love to share, do email your entries to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Poor driving conditions are persisting in some rural areas, resulting in school closures and cancellations this morning. In the Brandon division, buses will not be operating outside the city of Brandon today. Alexander O'Kelly and Spring Valley schools are closed. All other schools will be open. Buses will be running within the city of Brandon. The Prairie Rose division reports buses are canceled for all regions. Hatarian Colony schools are closed, but all community schools are open. Rolling River division buses will not run today, and all colony schools are closed. In the Turtle Mountain division, buses and classes are canceled. The Fort LaBosse division reports buses and classes are canceled. The Southwest Horizon division has canceled all buses and classes today, and the Lakeshore division has closed all schools today due to poor back road conditions. Poor conditions are also resulting in disruptions and closures in the Division Scolaire Franco-Manitobaine. Bus services are canceled, but these schools are open today, including École Aurel-Lemoine, École Jour de Plaine, École Régionale Notre-Dame de Lourdes, École Gilbert Rosset, École La Source, and École Saint-Jean-Baptiste. Only one day SFM school closure to report. École Saint-Lazare will remain closed today. Winnipeg's former CAO was back in the hot seat Wednesday, grilled over his role in the police headquarters scandal. And Phil Schiegel flat out denied claims a land sale in Arizona was fabricated to cover up a payment related to the headquarters project. CTV's Jeff Keel reports.
Phil Schiegel strongly denies an accusation he made up a land deal in Arizona to cover up an incentive from the Police HQ project's general contractor.
It was because there was no such deal.
That is completely false.
The former City of Winnipeg CAO was answering questions for the second day at the inquiry into the renovation of the former Canada Post building. In 2022, a civil court judge concluded Schiegel accepted a $327,000 bribe from Caspian Construction, the firm that was awarded the construction contract. Both former Mayor Sam Cates and Schiegel testified the money was from the sale of a share of property in Arizona to Caspian owner Armic Babikanians in 2011. But the city's lawyer, Michael Finlayson, suggested to Schiegel the money was an incentive.
It was money which was an incentive to you, Mr. Cates, to help Mr. Babikanians on the Winnipeg Police Headquarters project.
You're totally incorrect.
Finlayson also suggested there was no land deal, saying the city believes an agreement dated May 2012 was only drawn up in 2017 once Mounties were investigating. No criminal charges were brought forward.
It believes that this was done by you with the connivance of Mr. Cates in order to fend off potential criminal charges arising from the payments.
The city is completely wrong.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Some schools across the province closed Wednesday as parts of Manitoba were in the grip of snowy weather, making for some risky driving conditions.
Just stay off it. Yeah, it's not worth it. No, wait a day or wait a few hours and try it, but it's not worth your life.
That's Dana Smith, a trucker heading to Toronto from Regina. He spoke to CTV News from the Flying J restaurant in Headingley as his was one of several big rigs stopped there. Truckers we spoke to all said the same thing. It's very slick on the highways, and don't drive if you don't have to.
All the way here, there's trucks off the road everywhere, tow trucks pulling them out. The road's probably got, I don't know, 6 to 8 inches of snow on them. And then from here to Portage, it's pretty much all ice.
Started from Brandon this morning, and then up until here, it's about pretty slippery. I almost slipped off the road 2-3 times myself. So now, like, you know, made it here safely after seeing 10-15 trucks and ditches. It's crazy out there. Drive safe.
Just one closure this morning. Highway 20 is closed from Dauphin to Winnipegosis due to poor driving conditions. Otherwise, according to Manitoba 511, all other highways are open. However, many major roads across southern Manitoba, the Interlake, and east and western Manitoba are listed as partly snow-covered. A Transcona area school is cheering on Team Canada while taking part in its own winter sports activities.
Curling, skating, and ice hockey.
Those are some of the Olympic events students are taking part in as part of the Way-O-Wada school games. Work started on the schoolyard rink back in the fall, with students helping set up the boards and then flooding and then painting the surface. Phys ed teacher Tyler McGurry says it's the 5th year the school has set up the rink for some outdoor fun and physical activity.
This year we've done a little more of an Olympic theme, and the kids have been really excited about that and learning about the Olympic Games and just how Olympic spirit and just learning how to be active for life with all these outdoor activities.
McGurry says local businesses, the division, and students have been a big help in keeping the rink going over the years. Along with the on-ice events, students have also explored bobsledding, luge, and skiing. Home sales in Canada saw a steep drop in January. Numbers from the CREA say sales fell 16% last month compared to a year ago. Experts believe the weather may have been a factor. The drop was mostly driven by the Golden Horseshoe around the west end of Lake Ontario and southwest Ontario regions. Both areas saw significant snowfall last month. Here's a look at traffic now around Confusion Corner. It looks like things are pretty smooth over here. No issues to tell you about at this point in this part of the city. If you see anything out there, though, please send us a text.
Canadians are pulling back from visiting the U.S., and airlines are paying attention right now. Montreal-based Air Transat says it will no longer fly to the U.S. this summer, with its last flight across the border operating in early June. In March last year, it operated 9 routes to and from the U.S., but that number had dropped to 3 as of early 2026. WestJet, Canada's second biggest airline, also slashing flights across the border for this summer. It's suspending 16 routes, including big city pairings like Boston to Vancouver and LA to Toronto. Tariffs paid by mid-sized U.S. businesses tripled over the course of the last year. New research tied to one of America's leading banks showing on Thursday more evidence that President Donald Trump's push to charge higher taxes on imports is causing economic disruption. The additional taxes have meant that companies that employ a combined 48 million people in the U.S., the kinds of businesses that Trump had promised to revive, have had to find ways to absorb the new expense by passing it along to customers in the form of higher prices, employing fewer workers, or accepting lower profits. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
February is Black History Month, and Ainsley, you're going to tell us a little bit more about some of the activities planned, as well as an art show. Good morning.
Good morning. We're at Akomi, African Communities of Manitoba, Inc. Now, there's an art show, but asking somebody to encapsulate all of Africa, over 50 countries, is not an easy task, but here at Akomi, they've done a phenomenal job in doing so. This is called Then and Now, so it's various artworks throughout Africa, as well as modern pieces by local artists. Akomi is a community-based initiative, and it promotes that inclusion along the cultural sector. Black History Manitoba is doing plenty of work this month. Black Manitoba Network as well. And the University of Winnipeg Student Association is putting together some events too. So so much, whether it is history or the events happening locally.
Okay, well, we'll check in a little later. Thank you. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's feeling a lot different today than it did yesterday.
Certainly. While it is mild, we are not dealing with that big heap of snow that started really coming down on us 24 hours ago. We do still have some light snowfall happening. It's -6 degrees with that wind chill. It's -11. Northeasterly winds at 13 kilometers per hour. Once again, they will be ramping up into the afternoon. Barometric pressure rising, humidity at 81%. So while we are starting to say goodbye to that low pressure system in Winnipeg, the southwest is still under snowfall warning. So light snow expected throughout the day for that region. We too will see periods of that light snow here in Winnipeg off and on, but not to the degree that they are in the southwest. Temperatures in Winnipeg about -5 degrees, -7 is typical, while southwest will be cooler in the low -teens. Meanwhile, northern Manitoba, you too will deal with overcast skies and a good couple centimeters of snow, about 2 to 4. Through the day. Temperatures there cooler into the mid to upper -teens. Overnight tonight, we see temperatures dip in Winnipeg to about -9 degrees, I believe. Winds will remain strong, still with some trace snow that's likely to taper off tomorrow.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
It's time now for our question of the day. We want to know, what instrument did you play or wish you had learned in your school band? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name, please. It's time for our Pet of the Week reveal. This week we're celebrating Shaky. She's an adorable rescue girl about 1.5 years old. Sue told us she's a St. Bernard mix. Equal parts sweet and mischievous. She'll steal your food and your heart in an instant. Shaky has her game face on as she proudly reps Team Canada. Congratulations to this good girl. We love your Pet of the Week submissions, so please keep them coming. Share a photo and a fun story of your pet, dog, cat, bird, or any other buddy at Pet of the Week at ctv.ca, and then make sure to watch Thursdays to see if your pet is named our Pet of the Week. Here's what's happening now on Provencher. It looks like things are moving well here. No issues to tell you about. We're taking a break. We'll be right back. A company located just outside Winnipeg has been fined for a workplace death that happened 3.5 years ago. Charges were laid against Wintech Building Services after a worker fell into the blades of an unguarded radiator fan in July 2022. The company pleaded guilty last month to failing to ensure alternate protective measures are in place when safeguards are removed on a machine or tool. Wintech was fined $50,000 with an additional $20,000 to be used for health and safety education. Emergency crews say they have now found the bodies of 8 skiers who went missing in an avalanche near Lake Tahoe.
Saw the avalanche, yelled avalanche, and then it overtook them.
This is devastating. It affects us all.
This is now the deadliest avalanche in California's history. 1 person is still missing and presumed dead. 15 skiers were reported missing on Tuesday after the avalanche came crashing down. 6 other skiers in the group were found alive. We have breaking news this morning out of the UK. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, who formerly held the title Prince Andrew, has been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. He remains in custody as police search 2 addresses he's connected to in Berkshire and Norfolk. This comes after Thames Valley Police said they were assessing a complaint over the alleged sharing of confidential material with the late convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. At this moment, there are a number of details we don't know yet, including the specifics of the allegations against him, what information prompted the arrest, and where he's being held. Today is Andrew Mountbatten Windsor's 66th birthday. Some positive news from Winnipeg Police following significant flooding at the downtown headquarters this weekend. The force says all electrical systems have now been deemed safe. Lighting has been restored and all of the standing water has been removed. Additionally, air quality and humidity are back to acceptable levels, and the building has reopened to the public. That said, the full extent of the damage is still being assessed. It comes after police say someone opened several emergency water supply valves in a stairwell of an adjoining building. 2 people are facing charges. Here's what's happening now on St. Mary's Road. It looks like things are picking up in this part of the city, but overall moving quite well. We have no issues to tell you about here. If you see any issues out on the streets, send us a text, please.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
The International Federation of the Phonographic Industry has named the best-selling artist of 2025, and the results should come as no surprise.
Shake, 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 shake.
Yes, Taylor Swift has made history again. This is now the 6th time she's been named the best-selling artist of the year. She got the title in 2014 and 2019, and again every year between 2022 and 2024. Swift has now won the award as many times as all other artists combined over the past 10 years. K-pop group Stray Kids took the 2nd spot for 2025, while Canadian rapper Drake took 3rd place. Hilary Duff has been going through a career metamorphosis. She's the latest cover star for Glamour magazine. On top of all of this, she also just added more dates to her upcoming Lucky Me tour. Duff added an extra Toronto date for the Canadian stops. Her album, Luck or Something, drops tomorrow. Tickets also go on sale tomorrow. And the music returns to Festival du Voyageur today, and here's a look at some of what you can expect. The fun gets started with a community luncheon at noon at the Franco-Manitoba Cultural Centre on Provencher Boulevard. Entertainment is coming from the talented family band Hutlet 2.0 from Lorette. Over at the festival proper, plenty of musical acts will get started during the 6 o'clock hour. That includes traditional music by Trad Express Co. or something a little more contemporary from 15-year-old rapper Andy Queen. At 7, you can grab your headphones for a silent disco or get lost in a play about a shape-shifting Métis character. And there's a long list of acts taking the stage throughout the evening, including funk band Les Remedies and an album launch party for electro rap artist Sean Jobin. You can head to heyho.ca for more details and tickets. Your primetime lineup this Thursday starts with Next Level Chef at 7 and catch Sullivan's Crossing back-to-back at 8 and 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
Taking a check-in on your weather this Thursday morning. It's -6 to kick us off, -11 with that wind chill. Overcast with very, very light snow. Winds out of the northeast, pressure rising, humidity sits at 81%. So we're continuing to contend with the dregs of that low pressure system that brought snowfall through much of southern Manitoba. And we're starting off with mild conditions for us. Let me scooch out of the way. Here in Winnipeg, a little bit cooler in Westman. In fact, your highs are also going to be about 5 degrees chillier than what we're going to experience here in Winnipeg. It's -13 in Brandon and Swan River, -12 to kick us off. Over in Portage La Prairie, -9. Morden and Winkler also sitting at -9. Considerably cooler in northern Manitoba, and the wind chill is quite adverse this morning. I sound like a nagging parent, but please, I don't know why I developed an accent right there. Bundle up if you're heading outside, because it's quite chilly, dangerously so. Snowfall warnings do remain in effect from that system in southwestern Manitoba. Ours have been lifted, and not coincidentally, this is where the bulk of that system really hit. So upwards of 20 centimeters felt in areas like Boissevain, more in the mid-teens for the rest of the region, while we just saw a couple of centimeters. Could add a little bit to that. A good amount of cloud coverage as that system continues. Cloudy with light snow predicted throughout the school day, -5 as they head home. That's also our high for today. We'll deal with some strong northwesterly winds that'll persist overnight. Temperatures dipping down to -11. Snow tapers off tomorrow, but we're getting cooler at -10. Skywatch pick of the day. Sandy Bay First Nation got a good helping there of snowfall. Looks like a couple of inches. Thanks so much for sending that in, and keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
February 19th, 1878. Thomas Edison was issued a U.S. patent for his phonograph less than 2 months after he applied. In the autumn of 1877, Edison had already successfully tested a crude cylinder phonograph that recorded his voice on a piece of tinfoil wrapped around a cylinder. February 19th, 2010. John Montgomery, the fast-talking, energetic auctioneer from Russell, Manitoba, won the gold medal in the men's skeleton race at the Vancouver Olympics. Montgomery later became the host of CTV's The Amazing Race Canada. February 19th, 2024. Premier Wampanoag and Manitoba Métis Federation President David Chartrand unveiled an updated plaque at the Legislative Building recognizing Louis Riel as the province's first premier. The updated plaque is below a portrait of the Métis leader who led a provisional government in what is now Manitoba. A married couple is on an extraordinary work trip. They are the lead physicians behind Canada's men's and women's hockey teams at the Olympics. CTV's Heather Butts on how they are supporting the teams and each other.
This Calgary couple hasn't spent much time together in Italy, and they're perfectly okay with that. This trip is about the two doctors supporting Canadian athletes.
It's a privilege. It's an honor. It's great that they put their trust in us to do the jobs.
Yeah. Ian Auld is the lead physician for the men's hockey team. His wife, Laura Benyon, the lead physician for the women's team. They've both spent decades working with professional athletes, but this is their first time joining Team Canada at the Olympics.
The women's team has a special culture, and I really appreciate that. It's made the whole experience really rewarding and valuable.
An experience they take to heart as an integral part of Team Canada.
There's a lot of pride with representing Canada, for sure.
Although we're not on the ice, and we know we're a support for the athletes, and we do the best that we can for them.
207 athletes are representing Canada at these games, backed by a team of more than 230 coaches and support staff, all who face unique challenges.
Right off the bat, we got hit with noro. Our team didn't get hit with norovirus, but our first opponent, Finland, couldn't play. So right away, we're rescheduling a game at the Olympics, which is unheard of, and having to figure out what our own risk is as a team.
Relying on their medical backgrounds and each other to help keep everyone in the game.
We've been leaning on each other for questions and issues and bouncing things off each other. We both, I think, bring different, skill sets into this job.
Auld was part of the Four Nations win, but says the pressure here is more intense. This is the Olympics.
You can see it in our players. This is a big one for them. This is what they've been dreaming of for a long time.
As the doctors focus their time and energy on athletes, they too have a team behind them with their daughter and family members here in Italy to support them. Heather Butts, CTV News, Milan, Italy.
It's Black History Month. We're going to learn more after the break. We're celebrating Black History Month with our Ainsley McPhail. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, and we're at a Comey. All are welcome to take part in this exhibition, or I should say, enjoy it and celebrate Black excellence. Gabriel's joining me now, and you're the curator of this fantastic artwork display. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, this is the fourth edition of the Comey Art Exhibition, and it's called Then and Now. And so the essence of this exhibition is to show contemporary African artists and more of cultural artifacts all the way from Africa. And so we have a blend of not just African art, but also from private collections. And so the idea is not just to talk about what African art is, but to show how the African art has migrated and how it has transcended like different cultures, and it's right here in Manitoba. And so that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to show, you can see we have works here from South Sudan, we have works from Nigeria, and so we have works from all across Africa. And so we are trying to embody all this into the Manitoba spirit, to see that African art is not just we the people also, but we also do have different cultures which we try to display to the world. And so that's what the exhibition is all about, and we do invite people to come and see the exhibition itself.
And you know what? Asking somebody to encapsulate all of Africa in one exhibition is an unfair ask, for sure. But you've managed to try and diversify and broaden the horizons.
Yeah, so what I tried to do was to try to not just focus on one side of Africa, but to spread across Africa. Like we have works from Lesotho, we have works from Kenya, we have works from Nigeria, we have works from South Sudan, from Congo. And so we try to diversify as much as possible. And like you rightly said, having all this in one exhibition doesn't do so much justice to it. And so Comey has a lot of collections in their artifacts, and we just try to display according to the theme what we could display for now. And so I believe the goal with Comey is to have a more of a permanent space where we can have more of these works. And we don't want it to just be just for the Black History Month, but we want it to be for the rest of the year. And so this exhibition is open to the general public, so they could come and have an idea of what Comey is about, and also they could have a taste of Africa.
Have a taste. White people, come see this. Back to you.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. All right, taking a look at the weather today, it's not as bad as we thought.
No, in terms of that low pressure system that we were warning could bring a big heaping of snow. We did get some in Winnipeg, but we were spared in comparison to our friends in southwestern Manitoba. I'll have details on that in a moment. Right now, though, it's looking quite blue out there. The sun is about to rise. I think we're about a minute off official sunrise. -6 degrees with that wind chill. It's -11. The clouds blanketing that sunshine and some very, very light snow falling. Winds out of the northeast, pressure rising. Humidity sits at 81%. So yeah, we were hearing from Environment and Climate Change Canada about 10 to 20 centimeters could be coming our way. We in Winnipeg so far just got 2 to 3 centimeters, while areas in southwest Manitoba where you can see on our radar that system is still hovering. Certain places like Morden Winkler, 13 to 14 centimeters. Brandon had even less, around 8. Boissevain, likely the biggest accumulation reported so far, about 25 centimeters. So in terms of that, those snowfall warnings are still in effect in southwestern Manitoba, where light snow is expected to continue throughout the day. While we here in Winnipeg will also deal with light snow, not to the degree of our friends in Westman. Highs above seasonal at -5 degrees. Very strong northwesterly winds at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. They stay pretty strong overnight as well. Temperatures dipping down to -11, and we do have periods of light snow continuing, but it'll be trace amounts, very light, as that system finally pushes up to the north and brings some snowfall to northern Manitoba. -10 degrees into tomorrow as we start to see the temperature cool on the back end of that system, and some light snow potential, but it'll likely just be overcast. Into the weekend, the sunshine returns, but we're dragging our temperatures down with it. -12 degrees, and Sunday even chillier at -15.
A warning now about a convicted sex offender considered a high risk to reoffend who's been released from jail. 34-year-old Curtis Leroy George was serving a sentence for sexual assault involving a teen girl in Thompson. George has a lengthy criminal record for violent and sexual offenses. Back in 2011, he was convicted of sexual interference involving a 13-year-old girl and 5 counts of sexual assault after he attacked 4 random females who were walking or jogging. Police say George has breached probation orders numerous times. They warn he's a high risk to reoffend in a sexual or violent matter against all females, both adults and youth. He's expected to live in Winnipeg. A 43-year-old man has died after being struck by a vehicle near Brady Landfill. It happened around 4 a.m. Friday at the corner of Brady Road and Gousso Road, roughly 2 kilometers south of the Perimeter Highway. The force says the driver of the vehicle remained at the scene, and the victim's next of kin have been notified. Anyone with information or dash cam footage is asked to contact police. The Liberals are still 3 seats shy of a majority, even after Conservative Matt Jeneroux crossed the floor.
Quite simply couldn't sit on the sidelines after seeing what the Prime Minister was, the ambitious agenda he was undertaking.
You'll remember back in November, Jeneroux said he was leaving politics to spend more time with his family, but he apparently changed his mind on that. The Alberta MP says it was Prime Minister Mark Carney's speech at Davos that convinced him to re-evaluate. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is calling the floor crossing a betrayal of the people in Jeneroux's riding. He is the 3rd MP Poilievre has lost to the Liberals in the last 4 months. But because of other changes, the Liberals are still 3 seats shy of a majority government. That includes the resignation of Bill Blair and Chrystia Freeland. There will also be a by-election coming up in Terrebonne, Quebec. The Supreme Court invalidated that result after the Liberals won by a single vote. Avalanche Canada is warning of dangerous conditions in southeastern BC after a snowmobiler was killed. This happened on Tuesday near Fernie in the Matheson Creek snowmobile area. The risk of avalanche had been rated high for the area, but is now at a considerable risk. Avalanche Canada warns if you're heading out to the backcountry to choose a more conservative terrain. Meta CEO Mark Zuckerberg was in the hot seat inside an LA courtroom Wednesday for an unprecedented social media trial.
Mr. Zuckerberg, did Meta purposely design the platform to harm children?
Zuckerberg's company faces allegations its platforms are deliberately addictive to children, causing them harm. The plaintiff is now a 20-year-old woman who says her addiction to the technology increased her depression and led to suicidal thoughts. Meta and YouTube, which is owned by Google, are the remaining defendants after TikTok and Snap settled out of court. A major milestone is being marked at 10 Downing Street. Larry the cat is celebrating 15 years as the resident mouse catcher. He's typically been roaming the street outside, often sitting on the step in front of the big black door. Larry was adopted in 2011 and has served 6 prime ministers. The job of head mouser has a long history, with various cats filling the post since the 1920s. It looks like more Winnipeg bookworms have been inching towards Winnipeg libraries lately. February marks I Love to Read Month, and Mayor Scott Gillingham's office says annual attendance numbers across the city's library system have jumped more than 28% since 2022. The number of borrowed materials is also up by nearly 19%. Councillor Vivian Santos says the numbers aren't quite at pre-pandemic levels just yet, but believes recent measures have helped increase usage.
The investments that we're making, right, together with the province of Manitoba, we were able to increase our hours, improve some safety measures at all of our libraries. I think it's good to see a slow and steady rise in our library system.
Winnipeg's library system is likely to garner even a few more readers when the Garden City Shopping Centre branch opens later this year. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Dagmar Street between William and Bannatyne Avenue. One lane will be closed at a time for water work. And following the rush, the northbound curb lane on Desmerons Street will be closed from Dubuque to La Rivière, and the westbound middle lane on St. Mary Avenue will be closed from Carleton to Edmonton. If you have any other traffic tips, send us a text, please. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.30. The provincial average is lower at $1.20. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.19. And the lowest price in the city is $1.11. All this info is on GasBuddy.com. Outside right now, we're sitting at -6 degrees. It's slightly snowing and cloudy overall. We'll be back after this short break.
Mild, cloudy, and slightly snowy to kick off your Thursday. It's -6 in Winnipeg. That wind chill, though, in effect, making it feel more like -11. Northeasterly winds fairly light, but they will be ramping up into the afternoon. Pressure rising, humidity at 81%. So yes, we were worried about this low pressure system heaping a good amount of snow on southern Manitoba. It looks like the southwest bore the brunt of it and continues to do so. As you can see on the radar, it's really hovering over that neck of the woods. While we here did get some snow, nowhere near to the degree that they did in that area. To that note, the snowfall warnings do still remain in place through much of southwestern Manitoba. They've been lifted for us here in Winnipeg. We saw a couple of centimeters by Environment and Climate Change Canada's measurements, and they said areas like Boissevain saw up to 25 centimeters, considerably less in Morton Winkler, about 13 to 14 centimeters. So depending on where you're at, it was quite the snowy day, and it looks like the north is now in for a snowy day ahead. You're going to be seeing periods of snowfall through the day, about 2 to 4 centimeters predicted. -18 degrees in Thompson and Gillam, dry and cool in Churchill at -23. Island Lake, though, considerably warmer at -11. The northwest also likely to get a couple centimeters of snow today under cloudy skies. Temperatures there peaking in the mid-minus teens, while Lynn Lake is a little bit cooler. And Lynn Lake also has a chance of some sunshine into the afternoon. Southwestern Manitoba, light snow expected to continue for you today as your temperatures start to creep below seasonal, -10 degrees across the board. Winnipeg and surrounding areas in the Red River Valley, quite a bit milder. Light snow expected with strong northwesterly winds. Northwestern Ontario, also a snowy day. Temperatures mild at -6 in Kenora, -7 in Dryden. Light snow continues overnight before tapering off tomorrow for us. -11 degrees with those strong northwesterly winds. We start to see those temperatures creep down into the back half of the week.
Thank you, Catherine. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Black History Month and how students are getting involved. Good morning, Ainsley.
It all starts with our youth, doesn't it?
It does.
Oyen Dimoa joins us now from the University of Winnipeg Student Association. Lots on tap for you guys. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, so for Black History Month, we've been doing various events throughout the month. One of them that I planned was the movie night, which we had like the first Thursday of February. And it was nice. It was a good turnout. And then on the last Thursday of February, we'll be having a job fair / business fair for Black-owned businesses and organizations for Black youth to join. And then in the evening, we'll be having like a Black Excellence Gala, which I'm really excited about.
What's the vision behind that?
So the goal and purpose of the gala is to showcase Black excellence in various areas, you know. There's like that stereotype where it's like Black people can only succeed in music, and even in music, a specific genre. But I want to use the Black Excellence Gala to show that Black people can succeed and excel in various, you know, places such as like film, social media, science, all of those places.
And what's the turnout been like for these events?
It's been okay. It's been okay. So far, I've only hosted one, which was the movie night. It was a really interesting turnout. We watched the last Wakanda movie.
Okay.
But
maybe the first one would have been better.
Probably.
You've also been conducting some interviews yourself, so we're flipping the script here. Tell us about that.
It's been good. So far, we've done 2 interviews, me and a friend of mine. The first interview, we went around the university asking students when they hear the words Black History Month, what first comes to mind, you know? And it's been really enlightening to kind of hear what people have had to say towards that. One of the downsides was hearing that students don't really know much about Black history in Canada, especially our international students, because, you know, most of the time Black History Month is mostly valid like in Western countries. But it's been nice to hear different opinions, different stories, different sides. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And I had said that they're the future, Rochelle. After this conversation, the future is certainly bright.
It is.
Back to you.
Definitely. Okay, thank you, Ainsley. If you've walked through a mall, you've probably been offered free samples of products to try, but you have to be careful you don't sign contracts for something you may not want or need. CTV's Pat Foran shares the story of a student who ended up purchasing a $14,000 therapy light she couldn't return.
Meredith is a student from Mississauga who asked we only use her first name. Last November, she was walking through a mall when she was offered free skincare samples.
This one is a skin relaxer cream.
She was told she was eligible for a free skin analysis, and during the session, a salesperson used a red light therapy device.
And they started putting it on my face without me telling them to.
Meredith agreed to pay almost $1,400 for the therapy light, but that was only a down payment. When she got home, she realized she signed a contract to pay a $10,000 loan at 25% interest. With the deposit, it was a commitment of about $14,000.
I feel scared because I don't have that money. I'm just a student.
Meredith signed the contract with the soap tree. She thought she had a cooling off period where she could return the product if she changed her mind. When she went back to the mall, the store she bought it from was gone.
The store is not there. It's completely empty.
If someone comes to your home and you sign a contract, there is a 10-day cooling off period where you can change your mind. But if you go to a retail store, the cooling off period does not apply. As well as signing a contract in your home, the cooling off period also applies if you join a fitness club, buy a newly built condo, take out a payday loan, or purchase a timeshare. CTV News reached out to the soap tree but did not get a response. The company that holds the loan is LendCare. A spokesperson told us, "We are conducting a review of this merchant and the circumstances surrounding this situation. We have canceled this loan and refunded the associated fees so the customer has no further obligation." That was great news for Meredith, who plans to be more careful signing contracts in the future.
Thank you, CTV News. I'm really grateful for your help. I couldn't do it without you, and I'm just really happy. Thank you.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy birthday, Matt. Love from your family. Happy birthday, Anthony. Love Danielle, Lane, Lauren, and Luna. Happy 9th birthday, Jaden, with best wishes from family and friends. Happy 4th birthday to granddaughter Ava from your family. Happy 17th birthday, Keely. Love from your mom, dad, and dog Candy. And happy 90th birthday to Elaine, also known affectionately as Mom, Grandma, and Great Grandma. Love Jackie and Sig and the family. And a happy birthday to my bestie, Tina. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you to our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
It's a cloudy and cool start to the day, setting the tone for another mild February day ahead. -5 degrees, slightly above, what's typical for this time of year. So you can see an average high would be -7, well off what we were at last year, but keeping well away from that record setback in 1930. So those mild temperatures that we've been experiencing in southern Manitoba are on borrowed time. We're going to be dealing with cooler temperatures in the days to come. But first, we have to finish dealing with this low pressure system. We heard about it bringing a heaping of snow to southern Manitoba. It looks like the bulk of it was felt by the southwest. Here in Winnipeg, we're still dealing with this trace snow, -6 degrees with that wind chill. Feels more like -11. Winds are out of the northeast, pressure rising, humidity sits at 81%. So snowfall warnings remain in effect for the southwest, where light snow is expected throughout the day, with more accumulating snowfall expected. We too are expected to have periods of very light snow, likely not contributing a lot to our accumulations. We only saw 2 to 3 centimeters worth here in Winnipeg, but it'll still make for a cloudy day. And I mentioned some decent temperatures. -5 is what we're looking at here in Winnipeg, as we showed. Cooler to southwestern Manitoba. Northern Manitoba, you too likely get those shovels primed, because you are expecting 2 to 4 centimeters worth of snowfall. Temperatures much cooler there, peaking in the mid to upper minus teens.
Community organization in the heart of Elmwood is connecting people with the food, resources, and supports they need to live full and happy lives. It's called the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Corporation, and it works with the people, the businesses, and government to get essentials to the community. And joining us now from the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Corporation are Leilani Villarba and Guillermo Vivado. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now let's talk about the Chalmers Neighborhood Renewal Corporation itself. What is it, and what is your mandate there?
So we're a renewal corporation, and our mandate is to hear what the people need and then deliver the programs and services that is most requested within the community and beyond.
What are some of the biggest challenges in that part of the city?
Chalmers is a settlement area. It's a low-income area. We've got a lot of fixed-income seniors in there, and we've got a very diverse and inclusive community. And so we see a lot of everything. So there's a lot of different income quintiles, and a lot of different cultures, and a lot of different values and beliefs, and just it's a beautiful community.
So the main mandate, the main goal is to bring the community together, but also meet the need that is out there. So what kind of need have you been seeing, and how have you been trying to reach that?
Some of the programs that Leilani started a few years back has been actually something that is very important that the community has been taking advantage of, is actually the bag program, better access to groceries. Just like the name itself, it says it. So we're able to offer to the community for almost 10 years a program that has been accessible for everyone. It was mainly for Elmwood, and just last year we opened up to all Winnipeg, so it's been accessible for all Winnipeg, and there's over 700 participants registered in the program.
So how does that program work? People just show up and they do their own shopping?
So they do register, and they do shopping. They get fresh produce for $10. So that's the accessibility, where maybe in retail would be higher, but we made it accessible for them. So that's what we partner with different partners that make it possible for this to happen.
Food security is such a big issue for anyone right now because the high cost of food. So what are you hearing from the community members when you're helping them with this right now?
I think one of the things that that we are addressing is just the economy right now, and the way it's impacting the community, the individuals within our communities. It's hard. The cost of fresh produce, the cost of anything has just gone up, and people can't make it to their paychecks. So we partnered with Community Helpers Unite through Climate Change Connection, through the City of Winnipeg, through Brandon Food Rescue, and then with all our funders supporting us, we've got the Winnipeg Regional Health Authority and Homelessness. We've got the City of Winnipeg, our City Councillor Emma Durand-Wood. You know, we had a City Councillor, our late City Councillor Jason Schreier, who started this whole initiative with food rescue. And through Climate Change Connection, we were able to kind of bring it all together and create this project. And these last couple of months, we've been working with Community Helpers Unite to bring in food rescue items. So food that would be normally going into the landfill because big grocers can't put it on their shelves, or it's about date expiry or the size of the produce or the size of the product or whatever. For whatever reason, it can't go on their shelves. Community Helpers Unite gather those food rescue items and then bring it to us to kind of deliver it to the community at a grassroots level.
Okay, so we're almost out of time already. Moving forward, what is it you're asking from the public? What do you need right now?
What do we need? Well, we need people to see what programs we offer and access them.
Yep.
Access them, because everybody needs a little bit of help.
And you have programs that are designed for seniors, 55 plus. You have programs designed for tots that they can get access to. So many different programs that'll help moms at home that are struggling. So if you want more information, you can take a look at a link on our website for more details. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank you for
having us.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Matt Scooby here in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Wednesday. For it, we head to the Premier League, where, again, league leaders Arsenal taking on the Wolves. Second half stoppage time, Gunners up 2-1. They fail to clear the cross. Tomadozi smashes it off an Arsenal defender. The ball then goes off the post before deflecting in. Wolves, who sit last in the table, come back from 2 goals down to shock the league leaders. That is your must-see moment from Wednesday. And today, Canada goes for gold against the United States, and women's hockey coverage starts at 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on CBC and TSN. That's all for now from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on February the 19th. You're watching Your Morning Winnipeg. Thank you so much for being with us here today. We're going to continue our talk about Black History Month with Ainsley in the next hour, but we're also going to talk about Lake Winnipeg. We know Lake Winnipeg's in trouble, and algae blooms are very commonly seen on Lake Winnipeg throughout parts of the year. Well, apparently algae viruses might help to combat that. So we're going to find out a little bit more what the viruses are exactly, and some of the research coming out of the University of Winnipeg and why they're doing this. So we're going to find out more about that. But the weather, no blooms right now because it's chilly out there.
No, we're not thinking about jumping in any bodies of water, that's for sure. Because yes, it is still quite a little bit chilly out there, and quite a bit gray as well. We're still dealing with the remnants of that low pressure system, bringing some very light snowfall to Winnipeg and surrounding areas. It's currently -6 degrees. With that wind chill, feels more like -12. Some northeasterly winds at 15 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 81%. So yes, we are going to be dealing with some light snow. However, we didn't get the heaping that we thought we were going to get with this low pressure system. The brunt of it was really borne by the southwest, where you can kind of see it still concentrating there on our radar. In terms of that, our snowfall warnings have been lifted in Winnipeg, but remain in the southwest, where they're going to deal with more snow throughout the day. We too will get some, but not to the degree they will. Another couple centimeters possible throughout the day and into tonight. You can see it better on the Futurecast how this will unfold. So it's kind of lingering there over the southwest. The tail end is kind of dipping into the Red River Valley in Winnipeg. That's bringing that trace amounts of snow. As the day progresses, it pushes off into the north, bringing about 2 to 4 centimeters there. But a couple lingering remnants of it are likely to continue some light snowfall overnight and maybe into tomorrow under some very cloudy skies. We are going to be getting the sunshine back into the weekend as you start to see it lift up, but with it we're losing our above seasonal values. But we've got today to look forward to. -5 degrees is our high. -7 is what's typical for this time of year. Strong northwesterly winds at about 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. They maintain pretty well overnight, and temperatures dip down to -11 as we deal with that light snowfall continuing and into Friday as well. But that's when we start to see the mercury take a bit of a tumble. -10 on Friday, and then by Sunday we're cooler, but we get some sunshine. Your weather art of the day, Owen, drew this lovely storm in the flowers in the tree. Thanks for sending that in, for drawing that, Owen, and to his family for sending that in. And if you have any pictures of your kids' weather-themed artwork, we'd love to see them because we're featuring one every day here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Email those entries to the address on your screen.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Winnipeg's former CAO was back in the hot seat Wednesday, grilled over his role in the police headquarters scandal. And Phil Schiegel flat out denied claims a land sale in Arizona was fabricated to cover up a payment related to the headquarters project. Schiegel was answering questions for the second day at the inquiry into the renovation of the former Canada Post building. In 2022, a civil court judge concluded Schiegel accepted a $327,000 bribe from Caspian Construction, the firm that was awarded the construction contract. Both former Mayor Sam Cates and Schiegel testified the money was from the sale of a sheriff property in Arizona to Caspian's owner Armik Babakanians in 2011. But the city's lawyer, Michael Finlayson, suggested to Schiegel that the payment was an incentive and that there was no land deal. Finlayson says the city believes an agreement dated May 2012 was only drawn up in 2017 once Mounties were investigating. No criminal charges were brought forward. The police headquarters project's original price tag was $135 million, but it ended up costing the city $214 million. Some positive news from Winnipeg Police following significant flooding at the downtown headquarters this weekend. The force says all electrical systems have now been deemed safe, lighting has been restored, and all of the standing water has been removed. Additionally, air quality and humidity are back to acceptable levels, and the building has reopened to the public. That said, the full extent of the damage is still being assessed. It comes after police say someone opened several emergency water supply valves in a stairwell of an adjoining building. 2 people are facing charges. We continue to follow this breaking story. The King's brother, Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, has been arrested.
Right? Andrew didn't know about this. We know that this was a surprise. He didn't know that this was happening. Would the King have been alerted because it's his private property? We haven't been able to establish that yet, and I have been trying this morning, having some arguments with some people at the palace, whether the King knew or not. They are not saying at the moment whether he was informed of this search before it going ahead.
It's reported that the former prince was arrested at his current home of Wood Farm on the Sandringham estate. This is a property owned by the King. Mountbatten Windsor remains in custody at this hour as police search 2 addresses he's connected to. This comes after Thames Valley Police said they were assessing a complaint over the alleged sharing of confidential material with convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. There are a number of details we don't know yet, including the specifics of the allegations against him and what exact information prompted the arrest and where he's being held. The grandson of the inventor of Reese's Peanut Butter Cups is speaking out, saying they taste different. Brad Reese is accusing Hershey of quietly replacing milk chocolate and peanut butter with compound coatings and peanut butter style cream in multiple Reese's products. In a statement, Hershey says it sometimes makes product recipe adjustments, but the Buttercups are made the same way they have always been. Here's a look now at what's going on in traffic on Portage Avenue. It looks like things are moving well over here. No issues to tell you about at this point in the drive.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
For Black History Month, we're learning more about how students are celebrating. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning, and there's much to celebrate, Rochelle. Oyendamoa joins us once again. You've got 2 events, a Black Excellence Gala and a Career and Job Fair. Tell us about the Career and Job Fair, because you're encouraging more Black-owned businesses to take part.
Absolutely. So as the main purpose is to get Black students or just people in the community to know more about Black businesses and also provide opportunities for Black youth to join these businesses, organizations, whether it be for a job or for volunteering. And we're still totally looking for more businesses to join or organizations to join. So if anyone's interested, you can contact me at my student email, Rachel Student Director at uwsa.ca.
It's okay. We'll have a link on our website as well. Don't you worry about that. Tell us about the benefits for both, because obviously we want the broader community to look at these businesses and support them all year round.
Yes, absolutely. So this is supposed to provide like people opportunities to find more, so I say, like hidden gems that they may not know exist within the community, and to support Black-owned businesses, not just during Black History Month, but like even beyond, you know, and for them to know that there is a strong community of Black entrepreneurs in Winnipeg.
Mm-hmm. And this is a perfect segue to the gala that's coming up too, supporting Black excellence. What's happening there?
Yeah, so it will be on the 26th from 6:30 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. at the University of Winnipeg. And there'll be a panel, there will be performances, there will be food, and there will be a short film being shown as well. And the purpose, like I stated earlier, is to showcase Black excellence in various different aspects. Like the short film, so showing Black excellence in film, in music, in social media, in business, all of these different things. So
thank you so much, University of Winnipeg Student Association. Thank you so much. At 8:38, we're still at Akomi.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. It was not a medal game for Team Canada in hockey Wednesday, but definitely a nail-biter. The team expected to cruise through yesterday's quarterfinal game came close to seeing their Olympic journey end with the game against Czechia going into overtime. CTV's Raheem Ledhani with more.
Excitement, relief, and everything in between.
I'm in disbelief. I have shivers. It was insane. I can't believe it.
Team Canada's men's hockey team is moving on to the semifinals after a nail-biter that saw Canada fall behind to Czechia in the third period.
Canada by far has the most skill, the most talent, the most speed, the most of everything, except for right now, potentially not the best strategy, because right now it almost bit them on their butt. They almost got in trouble.
Inside the Dog and Bear pub in Queen West, fans are speaking directly to the game-winning goal scorer.
On behalf of Toronto, Mitch Marner, all is forgiven. That was beautiful.
The former Toronto Maple Leaf delivered the heroics, scoring in overtime to lift Canada over the Czechs. The moment even prompting his former team to tweet a Canadian flag and magician's wand for some Marner magic. But that's already creating backlash amongst fans, who are calling out the organization for trading him, while others haven't forgotten Marner's playoff track record with the blue and white.
The worst guy you know made a great goal. Right.
At the Ford Performance Center, Gino watched the thrilling game from start to finish.
My heart was in my chest, and now we breathe easy, and you know, gold medal still in sight. Only gold for Canada.
However, Team Canada isn't skating away unscathed. Captain Sidney Crosby suffered an apparent injury and left the ice midway through the second period. As Canada now prepares for their semifinal match on Friday, some feel this cliff-hanging game will actually help the team moving forward.
You see the teams that have a more difficult route to the final, they tend to win these types of games and these types of trophies, and it's more memorable.
Now Canada will need at least one more win to guarantee themselves a medal at these Olympic Games. Raheem Ladani, CTV News, Toronto.
The CTV Live Eye is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution.
I do not have the nervous system for the Olympics. It gets so anxious, and I'm so excited to watch the hockey, but it is always a nail-biter. Alrighty, it's -6 degrees out there with the wind chill feels more like -12. It's overcast, winds out of the northeast. Pressure's on the rise, humidity at 82%. Taking a bit of a breather from that light snow, but we're likely to contend with it throughout the day. Nothing heavy, nothing substantial. Unlike in the southwest, where that low pressure system that has been kind of dogging us for the last day is still hovering, likely to spread snowfall through that neck of the woods. As such, there is a snowfall warning in effect, but our totals accumulations were nowhere near what we thought they would be. We were hearing broadly from Environment and Climate Change Canada about 10 to 20 centimeters. We here in Winnipeg got about 2 to 3, but areas like Boissevain reported 25 centimeters, Morden and Winkler in the low teens, and even less than that in Brandon, I think about 6 or 7 centimeters. Those are early estimates. We'll get updates from Environment and Climate Change Canada later today. We will still deal with some very light trace snow as mentioned. Temperatures mild above seasonal at -5. A reminder, -7 is what's typical. Winds decently strong out of the northwest at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Overnight temperatures dipping down to -11 with those northwest winds continuing to gust. Periods of light snow expected, but again, nothing much to write home about. It won't be adding much to our accumulation. The dregs continue tomorrow with snowfall, but likely it's just going to be cloudy, -10 degrees with some northwesterly winds. From there, however, on the back end of this low pressure system pulls in some cooler air, and that is bringing our temperatures back below seasonal, -12 and -15 on Saturday and Sunday respectively, but it comes with it some sunshine. Into next week, it's going to take a couple of days before we rebound to normal temperatures. We're going to take a break, but stay with us. So much more still to come on Your Morning Winnipeg.
Canadians are pulling back from visiting the U.S. and airlines are paying attention right now. Montreal-based Air Transat says it will no longer fly to the U.S. this summer, with its last flight across the border operating in early June. In March last year, it operated 9 routes to and from the U.S., but that number had dropped to 3 as of early 2026. WestJet, Canada's second biggest airline, also slashing flights across the border for this summer. It's suspending 16 routes, including big city pairings like Boston to Vancouver and LA to Toronto. Tariffs paid by mid-sized U.S. businesses tripled over the course of the last year. New research tied to one of America's leading banks showing on Thursday more evidence that President Donald Trump's push to charge higher taxes on imports is causing economic disruption. The additional taxes have meant that companies that employ a combined 48 million people in the U.S., the kinds of businesses that Trump had promised to revive, have had to find ways to absorb the new expense by passing it along to customers in the form of higher prices, employing fewer workers, or accepting lower profits. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
There are different types of eating disorders, anorexia and bulimia nervosa, as well as binge eating. There's no single cause, but they can be related to many factors, including lack of self-esteem, family problems, or even depression. February is Eating Disorders Awareness Month, and a local business called Embrace Your Reflection is launching a campaign to help educate the public about the mental health illness while raising money to help survivors. Joining us now is the founder of Embrace Your Reflection, Jody Unruh. Good morning, Jody.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Now, eating disorders it's something personal and very close to your own heart, because you have a personal story with an eating disorder. Tell us a little bit about your story.
So I'm an eating disorder survivor. I was struggling with anorexia. It developed in my early 20s. Okay. And so I've been in recovery for almost 20 years now. I say in recovery because the thing about an eating disorder, it doesn't necessarily go away, but you kind of learn with time different coping mechanisms and strategies and ways to find your own identity again. Okay. So I was hospitalized with my disorder here, local program, HSC, in 2008. And then I went back again for a little bit in 2016, just kind of still needed a few extra things to kind of make myself more aligned with who I am moving forward in life.
So why did you want to start this company?
So I wanted to start this company because I know the need. As an eating disorder survivor and also struggling with body dysmorphia, I know how many people out there are struggling, and people struggle in silence. People struggle because of the stigma. It's something we don't talk about, but it's a conversation that needs to happen more. So my company offers workshops and coaching, keynotes, basically just education, support, prevention, healing, all those components.
When we think about an eating disorder, many of us might assume that it's something teenage girls or boys might deal with, but it really affects many people of all ages, right?
Yeah, all ages.
And so when you were in the hospital getting care, you saw others who were struggling just like you, and that actually brought you some comfort.
Yeah, I think the hardest thing is that isolation, that silence piece. You feel like you're alone. So when I was struggling, I knew there was other people in the world who were suffering, but when you're in it, it's very hard to feel connected to the world, let alone other people. So yes, being in there was definitely an eye-opener for me, that, you know, there's so many people struggling, and the more I've been an advocate for these past 20 years, the more I meet people have different stories and different struggles at all different ages.
And in fact, you're seeing some younger kids too who are struggling. Tell us about what you've seen with that.
I think just younger and younger is definitely affected. I think they've always possibly been affected, but I feel like maybe people are talking about it a little bit more, or maybe there's different influences with social media and whatnot. So it's just more profound. There's all these messages that we're bombarded with all the time. And I think the prevention piece needs to be just a lot more of, and that's where I'd like to come in and like work with young students and build that confidence, that body acceptance, because that's really what's going to help you when you get triggered in life.
Okay, so tell us about this campaign. We're almost out of time.
Okay,
So what's happening with that?
So the campaign is a big social media part to educate, community conversations, professional insight, but I also have so many survivor stories as well, which I think is really special to give survivors a safe platform to use their voice, to share their story, to help others know that they're not alone. And I also have community events. So I have 9 different community events that are happening next week. I have fitness classes, hosting donation-based classes throughout our city, and all proceeds go to the eating disorder programs, so a health science center as well as the Women's Health Clinic.
All right, well, if you want to support this or you need some help, we have a link on our website that will be there to support you. Thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
Taking a look at our weather right now, it's -6 degrees with a slight wind chill factor in effect. Some very trace amounts of snow currently in downtown Winnipeg. Winds are out of the northeast at 15 kilometers per hour, pressure rising, humidity at 82%. So yes, we will be dealing with some very light snow in Winnipeg throughout the day, but nowhere near what we saw yesterday. We had a couple of centimeters dump on us courtesy, of that low pressure system. A lot more substantial though in the southwest, where snowfall warnings remain in effect, and some more snowfall is expected throughout the day, maybe 1 or 2 more centimeters worth. Temperatures in Westman cooler, peaking at about -10 for us here in Winnipeg, a bit warmer at -5. We'll all deal with some very strong northwesterly winds. Northern Manitoba also get those shovels ready and primed. You could see a couple centimeters of snowfall throughout the day and into tonight. Temperatures there chilly, peaking in the mid to upper -teens, also some strong winds. Overnight trace snow continues throughout southern Manitoba before the system tapers off tomorrow. And with it, we're getting some cooler temperatures returning. We're into the low -teens tomorrow, and creeping up even colder into the weekend. The sunshine does come along with it, so that's a little bit of cold comfort for you. Kathy Houle measured the snowfall, a couple of inches in Sandy Bay First Nation. Thanks for sending that in. And keep your weather pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
Good morning. Lake Winnipeg needs help. The lake is loaded with phosphorus, which affects its water quality and ecosystem, often leading to algae blooms at certain points in the year. New research is looking to find ways to control algae blooms with something called algae viruses. University of Winnipeg biology professor, microbiologist, and virologist Emily Chase is one of the scientists studying this. Emily Chase joins us now. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for joining us. Now, we know Lake Winnipeg is in trouble, right?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the biggest factors that is affecting the lake?
So like you had introduced, there's a lot of nutrients. So we can call that eutrophication or excess nutrients. And this causes a lot of algal blooms. And then the downstream impacts of that is that people cannot swim in certain places because there might be toxins from the blooms.
Because they're not safe to be around, right?
Yeah, exactly. So if you see like a bloom warning, it's good not to swim in that part of Lake Winnipeg or any other lakes around Manitoba where there's bloom warnings. And then we also see downstream effects on fish stocks as well and other wildlife. So it's pretty important for us to understand what goes on in Lake Winnipeg from like a recreational standpoint. So, you know, if we're able to go out and enjoy the lake, also tourism standpoint, traditional standpoint, and also an economic standpoint for Manitobans.
Okay, and then there's algae virus.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a bloom and a virus?
So the bloom would be that there's like an excess of the microalgal cells, because even though it looks like just a bunch of green scum, it's actually millions and millions and trillions of tiny little single-celled organisms. And because there's so many, you can see them. And then the viruses, You don't see them with the naked eye, but they're in there. So they might not start appearing until the bloom has been progressing for a while.
Okay.
But you can track them using the microbiology methods that I apply. And what we've noticed is as virus counts, so the amount of viruses in the lake, goes up in that bloom, you'll see the bloom collapse. So it's important for us to use these sorts of data and use this sort of information to try to figure out when blooms might dissipate, and then people could swim again or people could fish, this sort of thing.
Can you manipulate the viruses so they can attack more blooms?
In theory, you could do this. There's microbiology techniques to accomplish that, but it would be a really long procedure and something really cool to try to tackle.
Okay, so they're basically related to each other. You need one with the other in order for it to work, or are they just sort of bloom all of a sudden, like the virus, I mean?
So they'll be there, present in small amounts. As we know, viruses are hard to get rid of, right? They kind of like appear, disappear, reappear, this sort of thing. It's the same thing with algae. So there'll be a small amount of viruses always around the lake, and then because they propagate using the microalgae, so they infect them, they create more. Just like when we're infected, we cough and we put more viruses out there. It's the same thing with the algae. They put more out there.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
So this summer you'll be doing research out there to find out more.
Yeah, exactly. I'll get to go out on Lake Winnipeg and enjoy the water.
And of course, the research that you come up with will be studied and looked at from other people with other water bodies around the world as well. Well, thank you for sharing this with us.
Thank you.
You'll have to come back and let us know how it went.
Yeah, of course.
It would be nice to see you. All right. Here's a look outside right now at Kenniston and Sterling Lion Way. It looks like things are moving well to start off this Thursday morning. We'll be right back after this.
Mild and cloudy start to your Thursday. It's -6 degrees out there with that wind chill. Feels closer to -12. Northeasterly winds at 15 clicks. Pressure on the rise. Humidity at 82%. Yes, we got a little bit of snowfall here in Winnipeg, but a lot more fell on the southwest. As such, the low pressure system that was the culprit is still hovering along that neck of the woods. And that means snowfall warnings for us in Winnipeg have been lifted, although we're not totally done with the snowfall, while they remain in effect in the southwest. So accumulations are kind of all over the place. The highest we've heard from Environment and Climate Change Canada was 25 centimeters in Boissevain. Less still in Morden Winkler at 13 to 14, and Brandon saw about 6 centimeters, while we in Winnipeg saw 1 or 2 centimeters. Meanwhile, that system is likely to drift up to northern Manitoba, bringing a couple of centimeters of snow to you. Temperatures as well, chilly, -17 degrees in Thompson, -18 in Gillam. Quite a cool day ahead for Churchill at -23, warmer in Island Lake at -11. In the northwest, also a good chance of some flurry activity today, although there is a chance of some sunshine for Lynn Lake in the late afternoon. Highs there in the mid minus teens, while Lynn Lake quite a bit cooler at -20. Southwestern Manitoba still under those snowfall warnings, likely to get some light snow throughout the day, maybe a couple more centimeters worth. -10 degrees there across the board with strong northwesterly winds whipping those flakes around. Milder conditions expected for us here in Winnipeg. Still that light snowfall that's dogging us. Strong winds as well. Northwestern Ontario, snowfall for you. My job is easy. A couple centimeters potentially. -6 in Kenora, -7 in Dryden. Overnight, maybe some trace light snow continues. Temperatures dipping down to -11 in Winnipeg. And then into tomorrow, we start to see our temperatures fall off, but we do get some sunshine into the weekend, so that's the good news.
A 14-year-old boy is facing murder charges in connection to the death of an 18-year-old woman. Her body was found by police inside a home in the 500 block of Yonge Street Saturday morning. She's been identified as Avante Hartlieb, a member of the Sashigo Lake First Nation in northwestern Ontario. Police tell us she had been living in Winnipeg. Her father, David, says she's the oldest of 5 siblings, and he's in shock over what's happened.
She was young and her life was taken away from her too soon. She was just beginning her life as an adult. She only became an adult for 1 month, and it's just sad to see.
The teenage boy arrested Tuesday is charged with second-degree murder and criminal negligence causing death. Police wouldn't elaborate on her cause of death or any potential connection between her and the accused, citing the ongoing investigation. Manitoba business and Indigenous leaders are in Mexico hoping to create new partnerships. They've joined the Team Canada Trade Mission.
This is actually the first time that AMC has been a part of a trade mission. And it's very exciting that we are a part of some very important discussions that are happening here in Mexico.
Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs Grand Chief Kyra Wilson says these trade talks are long overdue, and it's the first time AMC has been at the table. Minister of Mining, Trade and Job Creation, Jamie Moses, is also in Mexico alongside Federal Internal Trade Minister Dominic Leblanc and other provincial partners. He said Manitobans, like all Canadians, want to open up new markets and connect with other nations in order to reduce reliance on the U.S.
Some of Manitoba's strengths are our agriculture and agri-food sector, and we have great representation from that sector here in Mexico, as well as we know our incredible track record on energy when it comes to Manitoba Hydro and being able to represent and do services and work with Mexican partners.
Minister Moses says Manitoba also offers a strong, advanced, specialized manufacturing sector that could benefit trade between the two nations. He says diversity in trade relationships is necessary given the uncertainty of the global trade market. Canada has 2 trading agreements already with Mexico, including the Canada-United States-Mexico Agreement, or CUSMA, which is being reviewed this year. An unusually enthusiastic track invader jumped onto the cross-country course during Olympic competition yesterday. This dog wandered onto the course and decided to join the action. The unexpected intruder caused the cheering crowd to howl with delight. Cameras captured the dog crossing the finish line, and while it didn't reach the podium, it did appear to have the time of its life. For many fans, the memories of Beatlemania were captured through their music, but for one of the Beatles, those memories were saved on film. CTV's Jessica Smith has more.
A behind-the-scenes look at a band that helped shape a generation.
The photographs are really great pictures unto themselves, and then they tell an important story that no one else really could have told except one of the Beatles.
A new exhibition at the Art Gallery of Ontario titled Paul McCartney Photographs 1963 to 64, Eyes of the Storm, is making its Canadian debut, giving people a never-before-seen look at more than 250 photos taken by Paul McCartney himself.
He spoke of it as, you know, for him it was a way of capturing something that he didn't know how long it would last. I mean, decades later, we know it's long-lasting.
Each picture a candid look at the iconic band's early days on their journey to global stardom.
It's 3 months. It's the end of 1963 into like the beginning of 1964, so it's a very short period, and it's that moment when the Beatles become the Beatles. Like, it's that Beatlemania.
Giving a rare look into the lives of Paul McCartney, John Lennon, George Harrison, and Ringo Starr.
These are like family photographs, and there's the contrast is that there are professional photographers with them, and we do show some of that.
Helping fans that span generations connect in a new way to their favorite band.
The Paul McCartney Photographs 1963 to 64 Eyes of the Storm photo exhibition is now open to AGO members. It opens to the public on March 24th and runs all the way through until June 7th. Jessica Smith, CTV News.
Here's a look at what's happening now on Donald Street. Looks like things are really good over here, as you can see. Let's look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.30. The provincial average is $1.20. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.19. And the lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.11. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. Time now for your answers to our question of the day. We wanted to know, what instrument did you play or wish you had learned in your school band? Susan played the clarinet. Craig played the trombone, and his daughter played the French horn. Mark learned how to play the guitar when he was in junior high. I learned from a music school. I never played in a school band. A Your Morning viewer said, percussion section. Best part was playing a huge variety of different instruments. Jackie shared, back in my day, my school didn't really have a band, but me, along with everyone, either played the recorder or the xylophone. And Melody played the flute in high school band. Thank you so much for your responses. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about Black History Month and the many events that are happening. Good morning.
Rochelle, I don't think if I even spoke like an auctioneer, I'd be able to get out how many Black History Month events are happening in this province. We're standing at a Comey right now where there's a stunning art exhibition. Christiana and Maggie join me now to tell us all about it. Now, tell me about a Comey, because tons of people go through these doors.
Yes, yeah. So ACOMI is the umbrella organization of people of African descent. We have over 60 affiliate members made up from different countries and different organizations. ACOMI promotes community unity. We try to advance our culture through different programs that we run. So at the moment, we have programs like our seniors program, which we call Nourish and Connect. We have our youth program sponsored by United Way. United Way helps us with that. So we run youth mentorship program with Grand Park High School. They are also running different Black History Month exhibitions. So at ACOMI here, we are focusing on Black history through artwork. And one of the programs that we'll be running or coming on Saturday, 21st of this month, is the African Drumming exhibition. It's going to be at the Manitoba Museum, 3 o'clock to 6. Everybody is invited. It's a free event. There will be cultural activities, there will be performances, there will be food, there will be speeches. It's going to be fun. So you are all invited. Yes.
Well, I can attest to the fun because during Folklorama, you, myself, and Kenny had a lot of fun. You guys did all the heavy lifting, though, for sure.
That's right. Promoting our culture.
Yes. Okay, so you've brought in a fan here. Tell us about it.
Thank you very much. So this fan symbolizes royalty. It's used mostly in all parts of Africa. Myself, I'm royalty. I'm actually a princess from back home. So we use this fan mostly for occasional purpose. Though you can actually use this fan when you're not royalty, but you can't just use it for just an occasion. So, but the major places you get to see this fan is for royalty. Just because myself, I'm a princess, I'm entitled to use this fan at every other place just now.
I should have been nicer to you this morning. Do you have any brothers? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Okay, Black History in Manitoba, lots going on, whether it be Black History Manitoba, ACOMI, or the University of Winnipeg Student Association.
Aw, all you ladies are princesses. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. A little bit of a breeze out there right now, Catherine.
Yes, I'm the snow queen up here, Rochelle.
There you go.
Obviously. The snow, though, is in short supply, as is my queendom status. It's -6 degrees with that wind chill, feels more like -12. It's very light with that precipitation. Winds are out of the northeast, pressure rising, humidity at 82%. Snowfall warnings remain in effect in southwestern Manitoba. They've lifted for us here in Winnipeg as that low pressure system that brought some snowfall for us yesterday begins to lift out. However, we're still going to have light snow throughout the day throughout Winnipeg and the Red River Valley. A little bit more substantial with snowfall in the southwest, plus some cooler temperatures at -10, while we here in Winnipeg and surrounding areas around -5 for our highs. Northern Manitoba, you also have a good chance of some snowfall today, a couple centimeters worth. Temperatures much chillier, peaking in the mid to upper -teens, even cooler in very northern regions like Lynn Lake and Churchill. Overnight tonight, trace snowfall continues, but that system does continue to move to the north, giving us a bit of a break. However, on the back end of it, we're likely to get a good cool down on the way for us here in Winnipeg. That looks like about -7 tomorrow, I believe, under cloudy skies, maybe a touch of snowfall. Likely it's gone. But by the weekend, we're into the low minus double digits. By Saturday, we do get the sunshine back, but it's going to take us a couple days into next week to return to more seasonal February values. Let's take a break and pay some bills, but stay with us. So much more Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
An 11-year-old Ottawa girl has an ambitious goal. She's trying to raise $50,000 to support children with cancer. And as CTV's Peter Sperling reports, her efforts are inspiring others, even gaining national recognition.
Brooke Milo is an 11-year-old Ottawa girl with an inspiring $50,000 goal.
I'm raising money for kids that are fighting cancer right now.
Already nearing the halfway mark, she has raised more than $22,000.
Well, I've had lots of bake sales and fundraisers.
And for her, the inspiration is personal. Motivated to give after watching her grandfather donate his hair as part of a fundraiser years ago. Since then, she has donated her hair 3 times.
About to here, and then I cut it and it was like to there.
She has a new motivation now after learning a classmate was diagnosed with cancer.
Well, I was very sad and I wanted to help him.
Everyone, please welcome Brooke to the show!
The ambitious efforts aren't going unnoticed. She caught the attention of national celebrity Mary Berg, appearing on her TV show, The Good Stuff.
Okay, so that is a lot of donation.
Her own several minutes of fame, motivating other students and teachers to join the cause.
I just think it's a really big accomplishment. She's just a really inspiring person in general, and I love that she's trying to help somebody in our class too.
I think it's a wonderful thing. Brooke has proven to be a very authentic person in everything that she does.
For Brooke, she has faith that fundraisers can help with a cure.
Hopefully doctors can find a cure for cancer.
And those that see her daily say there's no limit to what she can achieve.
Not only does she raise all this money for cancer research and for kids with cancer, but she's like a volleyball player, a swimmer, a good student, and she's a kind human.
A young girl giving the gift of hope while motivating others along the way.
It's honestly very fun to have bake sales and fundraisers, and I feel like that if I keep donating money to cancer, then other people will.
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
It'll be a celebration of music for thousands of students who are eager to share, learn, and make music together. More than 134 concert bands, which include 7,000 students from Manitoba and Northwestern Ontario, are coming to the RBC Convention Centre to perform in front of panels of national and international judges. It's called the 51st Annual Concert Band Festival. And joining us now to tell us more is the Executive Director, Brent Johnson. Good morning, Brent.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now,
my pleasure.
It's happening all week. It's been going on.
Happening all week. We'll be
busload of kids coming in.
Yep, about 9:30 a.m. to 10 o'clock p.m. every day this week.
Okay, so what does it look like? Thousands of kids with their instruments in tow, and what are they doing?
They are coming in as a band to perform and to learn. So it's a very educational festival. Students are preparing a couple pieces with their band that they'll perform for the adjudicators. They then receive feedback from 3 of those adjudicators. 2 of them provide recorded comments that they will listen to later, and one of them actually works with the band right after their performance. So there's a live interaction there, and the goal is to share music, but also to learn and grow from this experience. And they get to hear many of their peers. You know, as a school band in your school community, you don't get to hear a lot of other performances,
right,
other perspectives. So here there's thousands of peers from other schools, from other communities across Manitoba and even into Ontario coming to share and participate in the same way, and it's very exciting for them.
These are middle and high school students.
Yeah.
So they come in and they watch others and then they learn from that experience.
Yeah.
What are you seeing in terms of numbers? Because this festival has been going on for 51 years.
Yeah.
What sort of trends are you seeing?
Well, COVID was hard on music programs. I think more challenging than for some other parts of the school system because many had to shut down for a time.
Right.
And so we're seeing a lot of regrowth now. More bands participating in the festival overall, but also this number of students in those bands has grown and continues to grow. I think our largest group was yesterday at 137 middle school students. So it's, which is awesome. It's amazing. More kids. Let's do it because kids need these kinds of experiences where they're not on tech all the time. They're interacting with each other as humans and doing things that transcend the English language, for whom that's a barrier, right? Our schools are really diverse these days. We've got students coming in from more and more places all around the globe, and English might be a barrier, but music is a language that is not, because we can all understand that and take part in it together. So these are really important experiences, and we're seeing bands grow. More and more kids are wanting these experiences. Families are supporting that and encouraging their kids to take part in bands, and it helps the entire school system thrive.
And it really, research shows that it stimulates the brains in different ways and spills over into other classrooms and other learning as well.
Kids are making connections. They're connecting things they're learning in other places in the school day. Math, for example, of course, but language, listening, empathy, confidence. Cool. And it's giving them a boost. And they're going to take those things out into life with them, you know, as they become adults and navigate the world, and hopefully it helps make this whole place better.
Yeah, absolutely. So what happens after this week? There's many other festivals going on.
Yeah,
too,
we've
right?
got 4 more festivals coming up, so we take a little break, and in a week and a half we've got our Jazz Band Festival at the Franco-Manitoban Cultural Center over 2 days, and then in April we run 2 festivals for younger bands. So these are kids that are probably in their first or second year of playing at those 2 festivals in April, and we do that in Winnipeg and in Brandon, trying to be accessible to school programs all across Manitoba. And then we end the whole thing off in June with a 2-day community band festival here at Coronation Park in Winnipeg.
So much fun. The kids love this.
Oh, they do.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing this with us. And of course, if you want more information, we have a link on our website as well. Thanks, Brent.
Thank you.
Taking a check-in on your Thursday forecast, it's -6 degrees out there, -12 with the wind chill. Overcast, northeast winds at 15 kilometers per hour. Pressure's on the rise and the humidity sits at 82%. Some trace amounts of snowfall to look forward to today as that low pressure system starts to taper off. It's still hovering though over the southwest where there are some snowfall warnings still in effect. A couple centimeters are possible for that neck of the woods, while we'll deal with a little less in terms of accumulation. Plus another day of above seasonal values for us here in Winnipeg. That's -5 degrees when -7 is what's typical. We'll also have some pretty strong northwesterly winds at 20, gusting at times to 40 kilometers per hour. Overnight, temperatures dipping down to -11 with some light snowfall continuing, tapering off into Friday, but that's when we start to see the mercury take a bit of a dive. -10 degrees, and it's getting cooler into the weekend as the sunshine returns. And it's looking like we start off next week under the clouds with some more below seasonal temperatures at -12. Some snowfall likely returning on Tuesday. By midweek, the sun shines back, and into the weekend we should return to more typical February temperatures. We're going to take a break, but stay with us. Your Morning Winnipeg still to come.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, before we say goodbye, we're going to show you some fun video. How's this for cute? This baby elephant was born at a zoo in France. Although it may look small, this baby weighed 150 kilograms, which is quite larger than the average baby elephant. And it was no easy feat. The mama elephant was in labor for 7 hours. This birth comes after a 13-year drought of elephant births at the zoo. Welcome,
if it's that long a birth, I think I'm also abstaining if I'm a mother elephant.
No
like,
kidding.
no, thank you.
Well, this mom found the perfect way to bond with her son.
You got a friend in me. You got a friend in me.
Just a little me time with her mini me. They're both on the couch holding hands and wearing their favorite masks, Iron Man for him and a red light mask for her, getting ready for their next adventure together.
Adorable.
That's sweet. And finally, this dad let his toddler dress herself and check out what's happening.
You. What are you wearing? Mila, why are you wearing that?
You okay, hon? Yeah. You doing your dress up?
This is Mila, and she got millions of viewers with her outfits. Her dad says he has no words for her sometimes. Oh my goodness, I follow them, and they're so cute to watch. They play well together.
She looks like a little cabbage patch. She's so squishy.
That does it for us. Have a good day.